And hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. It is I, troopersjp, and this is the Academic Foxhole, and it's our Foxhole Fridays. It is our Tales from the Foxhole. I'm just noting where I'm sitting on my audio levels. I think I could be just a little louder, right about here, I think. Yes, hello, everyone. Hi. I'm so excited for you all to be here. This is part one of our three-shot, and I have got so much excitement that I sort of can't express it. I like to do in the hiatuses between seasons of the long show, shorter shots and things like that, where I get to play with people I don't get to normally play with. And this is a group of people who I have played with them all before, and I enjoy it very much. And I have never, well, I would say I've never GM'd all of them at the same place, but also this is a GM-less game, so I'm still not GMing them. I'm just hosting. We are playing. So there is a game that came out 15 years ago called Microscope, and then there was an expansion for it with a couple of different ways of playing Microscope by Ben Robbins of Lame Mage Games. And this game was called a game of fractal role playing, and it was quite the. You know how I might really like to play games that do something really interesting. And also so does everyone else here, which is why they're here. But it is a game wherein nobody plays a character exactly. I mean, you might have a character you play some, but we're actually sort of playing a world, a history that spans huge chunks of time, and it's meant to be sort of non-linear, so we can jump anywhere we want. And it's a sort of like it's a different way of thinking about games. And Ben Robbins, who also is the one who created the idea of the West Marches campaign, is the one who did it. And since it's been 15 years, he's making a new edition, and that new edition in May came out with a public playtest. So this is the public playtest of the second edition of Microscope, specifically Chronicle, which is what he's doing now. And I get to play it with some fine people. And I've played the old Microscope before multiple times, 3 times, I think. 1, 2, 3, 3 or 4 times. But every single time I've played it, it's been a one-shot. And the game has a bunch of setup, and so by the time we play, we won't get to really dig into it. We don't get to really experience it because we've only done one-shots. And so I'm so excited this time around to be able to do a 3-shot of Microscope and really, really get to let this thing sing. I also think it will sing particularly well with 4 people, so I am overall overjoyed that these fine people have said yes to playing this with me. First thing I do have to say, because I don't want to forget, is thank you for being here. All of y'all being here, we wouldn't be able to do this without you, so thank you. Your presence here is what we're all about, so thank you. If you would like to support us, because I make sure that the players get paid no matter what, you can do that by giving tips and bits, and if you do, and if you leave a message, I will read that out at the end. Also, you can be one of our Patreons. That's over at Academic Foxhole. And all of the funds from that goes to help pay for cast costs and also, commissions, that sort of a thing. So that is it. We also have like a merch store. So thank you. But more than that, the best way you can support us is by being here, by being present, letting other people know that we're live so they can come and watch us. If you're watching us on YouTube, giving us a like or a subscribe or a comment. And, you can join our Discord and hang out with us and chat with us. And at the very end, we'll probably have some questions about titles for the episode. So all of that is how you can be helpful. Just being the wonderful community members that you are. I've always been very proud of the community being one that is very pro-social rather than anti-social. And so just keep being the wonderful people you are, and that is one of the best things you can do. So with all of that preamble done, let me entertain you. That's Gypsy. Don't worry about it. That's not what I meant.
Make you smile.
Make you smile. I would like to introduce my fellow players around the table. And if each one of you would say who you are, and I can't say who you're playing because we don't know yet. So instead, I will say who you are and say, oh gosh, I want a good one that'd be sort of interesting. How about, what is one of your very earliest memories? That'll be our setup. early memories, one of your earliest memories. Let's start with Billy.
Hello, I'm Billy, Bill of the Forest on anywhere on the internet. Wow, man. First early memory. I can't remember. Like I have early-ish memories, but the first memory, the first space where my brain was aware and I had written it down on my
Oh,
in my tiny little baby brain. Uh, I'm gonna say the house. When I was really young, we moved from Western Pennsylvania into Northern Ohio, and the small little yard we had like a brick house, and I remember uh, playing on one of those low to the ground plastic big wheel bikes
mm,
that made it seem like you were going really, really fast, especially if you were going downhill. And then if you jerk the wheel hard, you can like slide. And I got a lot of quality scrapes because we were at the bottom of the hill of our street.
oh,
Big
that's so
wheels.
cool. Big wheels. Yeah, yeah. The orange, right? Uh, there was that alternate one, the green machine, which had the weird levers that you would
Uh
use
huh.
rather than it was like a lever driven one somehow. I don't think it was ever as popular as the big wheels, but nonetheless, yeah. Oh, that's so cool. PB plays inside. How about you? Who are you? And what is one of your earliest memories?
Hi, I'm PB from at PB Plays Inside, and I am excited to be here, first of all. Second of all, my earliest memory, probably not a great look on me, my first earliest memory. I had to have been, I don't know, maybe like 6, 7. I was going to a community karate class, and there was this girl. Like there's this thing where you like go up and you get paired off with each other and you show off what you've learned. And we were like yellow belt or something like that. And I went up with this girl, and you're supposed to do karate at each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And so what I did is I went for what we'd been learning for, I don't know, the last few weeks. And that was, just go for like the basic punch.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
did
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
straight into her stomach, and I didn't even hit her that hard, but she took it real personal, and she doubled over and just started
Oh no.
bawling. And I was so confused because we'd literally been practicing this in class nonstop, as you do with children. And yeah, and she invited me to her birthday party to like try to like, the mom to like, make amends or whatever. And then at the birthday party, we were on the playground set, and God, I think we were doing like monkey. We were doing something we weren't supposed to be doing, and what ends up happening is that I do it fine. She does it, she falls straight on her face, like belly flops to ground, and then she once again starts crying and goes running to her mom. And let's just say I never saw her again. So those are my earliest
why
memories.
why didn't she get good? That's what I want to know.
That's what I would like
Those
to know also.
It's like the
yeah. Why did?
rivalry that wasn't a rivalry at all.
It was just
Oh,
sort of embarrassing for her, to be honest with you. But I was mortified as
oh,
a kid.
oh. Uh, that's the rivalry that it wasn't really a rivalry. That's a rivalry between like New York and Boston and LA and San Francisco, and I think also Portland and Seattle. There's always like the slightly smaller city that's within the same region that has this vicious rivalry with the bigger city, and the bigger city doesn't realize that they're there, and it's always a little bit
Okay,
Yep.
embarrassing.
but here's the thing. That doesn't count for New York and Boston, because have you ever been to a Yankees Red Sox game?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But how much
Or
does New York really think about Boston, though? That's my question.
frequently. Like it's the end of it's September. The Yankees are very diligently thinking about how far behind the Sox they are.
Oh no! Oh, that was some smack talk right there. I appreciate it. Just for the record, I appreciate all the smack talk that just happened right there. Also, your blue sky name has been fixed,
Oh well,
but
thank
now it's
you.
centered. You're welcome. Uh, Yes. Oh, okay. Prax, speaking of fixing your blue sky name, could you say who you are and give us one of your earliest memories?
Hey everybody. If you've been around for a while, you know who I am. I am Praxagora Thesmiaphore, as you see me around here on Twitch, and Prax the Bard over on Blue Sky. But earliest memories. So I am a weirdo with an eidetic memory. And so one of my earliest memories has to do when I was about 2, because trauma. And uh, I was at the babysitter's house, and we lived in Fairfax County, Alexandria, in Virginia, right, in Northern Virginia, and in a very traditional colonial, and she lived in a very traditional colonial house, right? So in a traditional like Virginia colonial, you came in, there was a foyer, and the stairs went up, and then there was a hallway that went to the back where, like, on the right of the underneath the stairs was the kitchen, and then there was a family room, and that connected to the formal dining room, and then through the foyer there was the formal dining room that, or that went into the kitchen, right? So there was a big loop you could go around. And I and one of her kids were playing, and we were playing Transformers and chasing each other with the Transformers, and I missed the turn, and because we're little kids and we're running in the house, we don't have shoes on, and I slide and face plant into the corner of the door frame of the dining room. Bleeding profusely, end up going to the emergency room. This was not, I want to stress this was not the military base emergency room, because that will be a separate instance, but this is the children's hospital. And so you think that they're supposed to be good with kids.
Oh.
And they wouldn't let my mother in the back with me when they were started to do the stitches in my head. And I'm screaming because I'm probably more freaked out that it was something happened. I don't actually recall this, but I vividly recall the nurse and the doctor trying to distract me with some black and white stuffed animal, whether it was a dog or a penguin, I can't tell you, but it was a black and white stuffed animal. And I was like, no, I want my mommy. And I kicked the doctor in a very sensitive place. He deserved it.
Yes.
I would then also like to stress that 2.5 weeks later, when they took the stitches out at the military hospital at Andrews, the nurse practitioner, who was a old lady medic, who was like, yeah, of course you're going to have your mom here. And there was no problem. There was also no creepy black and white crazy stuffed animal.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, I am Trooper SJP, and I'm going to be one of our fellow microscopers. And I think one of my earliest memories would be also 2 years old. I've got a couple at 2, but 2-year-old memories are always kind of weirdly vague. I certainly remember I was the kind of person that would run away, not like run away from home, but like, this is probably going to shock everybody, but I would find things interesting and shiny and distracting, and I would just wander off in public, anywhere, doesn't really matter, which could be distressing for my mom, but who would like turn her head for a moment, and then I would be gone somewhere, and then she would have to find me. You know how it is. But I remember this one point in time, we were in San Diego, because when I was 2 years old. I was only 2 in San Diego, and I was only in San Diego when I was 2. So if I have memories from San Diego, I was 2, and I have a memory of San Diego where I don't know, and 2-year-old memories don't tend to have like the connectors. Like, I don't know what happened before or after. It's just that kind of that moment. I remember wandering off into an alley. So it was out. We were somewhere in public, and I had wandered off into an alley because there was something in the alley that was really interesting. And in the alley, there were these 3 Vietnamese boys. It was the 70s, so they had like cool feathered hair, and they were wearing these kind of like satin jackets and like jeans. Like they were like super old, which means they were probably 12 or 13, like somewhere in that age range. But they had these fireworks that they were like setting off in the alley, but very specifically, they were these little black. They look like hockey pucks. Please remember, I'm 2, so I have no idea of scale. Like, whatever I think the scale was is probably wrong. But there were these like little black pucks, and they would light them, and then they would colored smoke would emerge from these things. And I remember just standing there watching. There was a pinkish sort of smoke, a blue one, and a yellow one, and that these like this I remember smelling the smell of like basically gunpowder, but like I'd never seen smoke that was colored before. And I remember just staring, watching these boys light these little fireworks pucks up, and then just watching like this really cool blue smoke emerge and dissipate into the air, or this yellow, or this like kind of funky pink. Wasn't like a light pink, like a darker pink, like yeah, douse of snakes. I remember those. Yes, that's what they were. They were these snakes. And I remember I was just a little kid, and I remember just standing there in the alley, because I think I'd smelled it or something, and so I'd wandered off into the alley, and I just watched them, and I'm in like fascination. And I'm pretty sure at some point my mom must have found me, but my memory doesn't extend past just the watching the cool colors, right, sort of emerge. And that would be my earliest memory. Huh. Thank you for everybody sharing that. That's very cool. Mine did not involve being really good with violence, but mine did involve like stressing my mom out a lot. So I guess that counts some. Yeah, Prax. Yeah, I see you. You have something to say. I know it. I see what you're saying. All right. So let's start, shall we? I would say, so first off, I need to say that I don't yet know what the name of our show is, because we'll find out when we get there. And I cannot give you many things until we get there, but we're going to get there. We're not using Roll20, we're using Figma. This was suggested by Wandering DM, Simon, who said that Figma is good for like writing down types of things. It's like a virtual whiteboard sort of thing, and that's what we'll be using. So this game happens in rounds, but we start with setup, and we're going to start our setup together, and we're supposed to read it out loud. So I will start with step one, and then we'll rotate for each one as we do our setup together. So, step one. What is Chronicle? The exile who came to the city to start a new life, the mason who carved blocks for its walls, the merchant getting rich in its marketplace, the thief rotting in its dungeon, the emperor who watched it burn, the child who plays in its ruins. All these lives are part of the story of a city, and we tell its story by exploring theirs. In Microscope Chronicle, we will create the history of a single thing, like a frontier town, a legendary sword, or an old space freighter. We'll tell the story of the Chronicle by telling the story of the people whose lives are impacted by it. But we won't create the history in chronological order. We'll build it from the outside in, starting from the big picture and then jumping back and forth in time to explore the parts that interest us. We'll know how our story ends, and then we'll see how we got there. We'll start off making things together, but once we're on the same page, we'll switch to contributing individually, each of us building on what the others have created. Ultimately, the world we create belongs to all of us, and our contributions are its most important ingredient. But be prepared for the story to turn out differently than you expect. Even though we start knowing how this history begins and ends, the story that unfolds will surprise us. Billy, would you read step two? We're doing, what do you call it? Alphabetical order. By handle. Wow. Oh, Billy, you're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you don't mind helping me find step two on these.
Page 6.
Oh, okay. So many documents. Sorry.
Oh, I'm gonna put it back in our what do you call it? Our Discord thread, so that you will have it right there for you. Boom. And also, I will pin it.
Step two. Okay. Pick the thing we want to explore. That's our chronicle. It could be a city, right? Wait, we didn't read that yet. Sorry.
No.
Okay, my bad. Turning it back on. It could be a city, an object, an organization, or anything in between. Add a sentence to describe how it is different than others like it, but don't go into more detail. Details will emerge as we play. Give it a name. So
Mhm.
it could be a city plagued with crime, protected by masked vigilantes. A sword that fell from the stars. It is called Void Razor. A movement to establish equal rights for artificial people. We imagine there are many different groups over time, so we just call it the artificial person movement. The chronicle will change over time, so this description is just a snapshot. A city may be prosperous at one point, ravaged by war at another. Don't worry if the idea seems too simple or boring. It will become interesting as you play and add detail. Write it on a card as shown.
Mhm.
There's a lot of
And that,
pressure because,
but all of us will do it together. We'll just think about it.
yeah.
This whole phase right here, this whole opening part is when we all kibitz together and sort of like work it out with each other. There are some
It's still a lot of pressure for us as a
suggestions.
group. This is kind of like the
Yeah,
direction that we're all
this is
headed.
it. Yes. So person, well, so not a person, place, thing, concept, object. What do we want to tell our chronicle of? This would be the chronicle of what? Not Narnia. Um, that would be different. What are we thinking? What's speaking to us in terms of what might be interesting?
I think as far as civilizations go and journeys that are worth sharing, I've been really fascinated with recently with the path to enlightenment. So
Mm-hmm,
something perhaps,
mm-hmm,
right? We can toss it out, but
mm-hmm,
instead of outside forces dictating um, who believes in what or what your
mm-hmm,
personality type is by the
mm-hmm,
orientation of the stars or
mm-hmm,
um, uh, the journey within that one can take to achieve what is perceived as enlightenment, um, and you can only really know when you achieve it.
This makes me think about um, that. Was it Twilight Zone or Outer Limits or Night Gallery? One of those, right? Um, where this couple that's having troubles in their life, some mysterious person knocks on the door and says, "Here's this box. If you press this box, the button on this box, then you will get like $10 million, some like huge amount of money at the time, and then I will come and pick up the box, and that's it." And they're like, "Well, there's got to be a catch. What's the catch?" Like, and they're like, "Oh, you don't have to worry about it." And they're like, "No, but seriously, what's the catch?" And like, "Well, when you press the button, you will get the money, and then someone, and like basically, someone you don't know will die. Something really bad will happen to someone that you do not know." And so then, of course, the whole entire episode is them like struggling about whether or not they want to press the button, and in the end, then they do. And the person comes back. It's like, "Okay, I'm going to take the box. Thank you." And they're like, "But wait. What what's going to happen to the box?" We're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. We're just going to give it to somebody that you do not know." Right. So there's that kind of like a cyclical thing. Uh, and so what if this thing about enlightenment what if there's some sort of uh, special object, right? That one is like, that can be like a, a catalyst for enlightenment, like some kind of like a, I don't know what it is, but maybe this the chronicle of this like special object that is some sort of enlightenment catalyst in some way.
Mm-hmm.
So at its core, we're talking about a religion.
Perhaps because
Or excuse me, let me rephrase that. A faith-based system.
and well, here's a possibility. It can definitely be a faith-based system, but I also think that perhaps there's like an obsession with it. Maybe it doesn't
Mm,
exist, but the idea that
mm,
it could exist is so intriguing that it is um, a journey for perhaps civilizations, perhaps individuals, perhaps things are based off of this idea, but this mystery, this unknown, about how an existence, a period of time, a life can be lived and or measured. Again, happy to toss all that out and start from scratch, but it's just something that I personally has been mulling around in my head a lot.
I like the concept. I think we just need to broaden your initial concept, because if enlightenment is at its core is an internal, individual, personal journey versus a religion where we can talk about the history of that religion and how it either impacts or is lost or and through that. So I would say like the enlightenment aspect of it, we just need to broaden so it can kind of,
I'm thinking
if that makes sense.
it could be an artifact that promises
an
enlightenment,
artifact
like that people think like, oh, it's like the Holy Grail, right? Like if we can get this thing, then we get this, like there's like a because people could want that artifact, right? Yeah. Go ahead, PB.
No, I was just elaborating on what you were saying, or trying to guess what you were going to say.
Yes. What do you think, PB?
In line with what you three, sorry, are kind of on the path of making it, I guess not tangible is the word I'm thinking of, but something a little bit more, taking the concept of enlightenment and turning it into, why would a group want to achieve that? Where did they get that idea? Where did they hear about that idea? So I guess a vessel of some sort to that leads them to wanting to achieve that goal of enlightenment.
Like the alchemists, right? Like this thing,
or if it's even the chronicle, or rather just like a period, that the enlightenment, I guess, chapter would be, is what I'm thinking. Is that the bigger picture, or is that just going to be a snapshot of the timeline? That's what I'm considering at the moment. Bigger and smaller picture to then conceptualize it.
Prax, what are you thinking?
I like the idea of this object having something to do with it, but can we also toss ideas about perhaps it is a place, or an object and a place? And then to make things a little bit more trippy, an object, a place, and a time.
Well, we're crossing time though, right? So we want to do one thing. This is like we're going to revolve around either the object or if it's like an enlightened place, right? And we're going to cross huge swaths of time.
Yeah, because we're going to talk about the thing, whatever the thing is, over the history of that timeline. So I like the idea of the place and object. And proceeding to, again, this is where my nerd hat comes in. And as I warned people last night on my stream, that it's me and it's going to be a bunch of nerdy shit. So at its core, what we're talking about is the history of a enlightenment-based faith system of an object over a period of time. And I like the idea of
the obsession with
that thing, and how that thing progresses into defining it. But I think I like the idea if that object to be, God, look, I see you, Hawkeye, and now I've got Court Jester stuck in my head, and I can do the whole thing, but we're not going to do that today. As people have heard me do before. I like the idea of combining both the thing and the place, by thinking of something like a naturally occurring quote unquote natural wonder, right?
Mm.
Like a trees are too easy, rock formations are too easy. I like a body of water.
Well, I was thinking that the rock formation could be interesting. Like, what if it were something like a rock formation that looks like a throne,
A cracked throne.
a cracked throne, right? And that if you can, a little bit of Shangri-La, right? That if you can get there, right, to this place, or because think about like tensions about control, not very enlightened, but that's good, right? That if you can somehow kind of and of course, I think what's interesting is that what does enlightenment look like? I don't know if people know what that looks like, right? But there's this idea, and I think some people might interpret it as like enlightenment. Others might be interpreted as like knowledge. Like I think there are different myths about whatever this thing might be. Um,
And I think we can look
not
at that over how that myth changes over a
yeah
period of time.
yeah
Also,
uh,
now that you've
yeah
got me going, I just had an idea.
Oh no.
like a because that's that object slash place, right? Like it's kind of like a one of these sort of like kind of like a mysterious rock formation that sort of looks like a cracked throne. Um,
So,
it,
have you ever seen the actual image of the Giant's Causeway?
no, uh,
So, the Giant's Causeway is in Northern Ireland, and it's the mythology
late on
about it
me.
is very interesting, but it's a geological volcanic rock formation of basalt pillars,
Hmm.
or not basalt pillars,
Mm-hmm.
of volcanic
Mm-hmm.
pillars.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said basalt. Um, and it's, but there is a portion of it that looks like this. I'll put it in the Discord because it's
And then I
long,
will
and
put it, and then I will put it on our figure. Let me see. Copy this
it's
link.
where and it's these perfect octagonal pillars
Oh.
of
Uh-huh.
stone out to the sea.
Mm-hmm.
But I figure
Mm-hmm.
the throne kind of looks like something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me copy this image, and then
Well, throw that
let's
at you.
see if I can.
I'll throw that.
Uh, let's see what we can
Does
do
it change
here.
over time? In not the actual thing, but like in our
I think so, right? Like,
Well, also
but
we
I
can find out in play,
yeah,
because
we'll
remember
find
we're
out.
getting our just our initial. Here, let me put this because we can't get there yet. Hold on, let me get the Giant's Causeway in here. Boom. There we go. So that folks can see that.
Oh, I was right. It is basalt. I was correct.
Yes. Uh, so
I feel basalted.
what do we? I feel assaulted. So what do we think about if we are thinking about like a very special uh, rock formation that sort of looks like a cracked throne that has the mythology around it of granting enlightenment, all knowledge, some kind of thing right about it. What do we think about that?
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
I like it.
Billy's thinking.
Perhaps not to bring time back into this because we have a thing slash place. Throne cracked. Part of the Enlightenment is finding a way to achieve the the uncracked. So either via like a restoration or repair, or encountering it at like the precise right time, like on the very underrated Hobbit movie series, in the
Mm-hmm,
Doors of Durin, when the last light hits the door to expose the keyhole then
mm-hmm.
can be open to open the door into the kingdom, if that makes sense.
I think that's still too much detail. I think for this moment, we just need the thing, and then we build all that in, is what I think.
Sure.
What's the title of this thing? This is the Chronicle of what? Pope says the Basalt Throne. But what do you all think?
What about knowledge's seat? Knowledge is
The knowledge seat?
possessive seat. But that's just an idea.
The Chronicle of Knowledge's seat?
I like the idea of something simple,
Mm-hmm.
to name it something simple. If it's going to be something that survives time and mythos, because I would imagine it might also go through different languages, different translations. Something like... I'm trying to think of a word that's simpler than knowledge, but I nothing is coming to me at the moment. I like the idea of stone something. Or something stone.
How about...
There are, in terms of like synonyms for something like that, like wisdom, history, but like a thing that it can be uniform across languages. So like independent of social constructs.
It could also be the name of a person, right? Like
a fabled person who has discovered this, or some sort of prophet, or
like a fabled person, or it could be something like even like the moon's seat. Like the name of it could be, or like the seat of the moon, or the stone hermit's throne. It's like it could be something poetic, maybe, that would give us that vibe. Because we're going to describe it, so we can say what it is, but it could have some kind of like a... what's this thing called? It's called the this is called the Giant's Causeway, right?
The mythology is that literally the giants built it to connect Ireland to Scotland.
Right. So maybe something that has that kind of mythicness in its name. If the name is gonna persist, something like that.
It kind of feels based on like the height of these basalt pillars. It could be like a henge made out of the earth, or a henge to the sky. Because it's very often historically like that everything about faith or enlightenment is up.
I mean, if we're going to do something like that, then we can make it really concrete and just call it Heaven's Throne.
Then what is heaven in this place? Is it a thing? Because heaven is a very Christian construct. There's so many, like nirvana. There's so many different versions of what comes after.
I was using it in the more actual literal Latin and Greek sense, as in the heavens, the vaults of heaven, the vaults of the sky.
Vault, seat.
Personally, for me,
pinnacle.
I just think the word heaven, as we could say heavens, it just kind of sorry to child me, has that Christian taint.
It's fine. It's one of those things that it's also intriguing to me because PB brought up the change in language, but I would actually just call it the throne for right now if we're doing this whole story, because one of the things is, if we're going to give the history of it and show how it changes, a large percentage of things like this, just linguistically, we keep the name even if we don't keep the connotation of what the word actually was.
Mm-hmm.
For example, you brought up the word henge.
Mm-hmm. What about chair of, because Roller says chair of creation, but what about the chair of we could do the chair of enlightenment, or the um thinking about like the seat. The word seat I thought was very evocative.
I like seat because at chairs, thrones, at their root are all seats, and if there's something more base than seat.
Oh. Also, you can think about the seat of power, like this, like seat also has that second sort of connotation of like not just a thing you sit on, but also like the center of something. Um, the seat of what about the seat of dreams?
I'd be down with that. I'd be down with Seed of Dreams.
Yeah.
It's vague, right? It seems like something you could be the seat of gold. Tied to the mind, right? Yeah. The seat of dreams, there's something a bit mysterious about it. Missile Monkey says seat of dream, singular. So that it is more obscure. Seat of... The seat
Doesn't
of...
work in English.
The dream, right?
Would you have to have an article. You need an article in English.
How do we feel about the seat of dreams versus the seat of the dream? Seat of consciousness. Oh. Pope just said the seat of consciousness. What do you all think about that?
I kind of like all of them. Like, it's hard to pick a specific thing because we're on the vibe. We're just trying to put a label on the vibe.
And that's why I think we just call it like the seat or the throne for right now, because we're talking about what this is going to change over time. And if you talk about, for example, we call something the seat of consciousness, thinking about it as a metaphysical concept versus what that word actually originally meant. And so that linguistic shift, that language shift is going to be important, right? Over time in history.
Then maybe we should call it something like the seat of the moon, or Kalala's seat, or something like that, right? That because
like Missile Monkey is right. It's like you're calling it, the name is going to change based on who's translating it.
But we have to have a name for it, right? You know what I mean? Like, so like even if the go ahead, Billy.
No, not to interrupt. But if you were to like be in this place in that image right there, and you were to sit down there, the things that you would see are the sea, the sky, and the place in between, which would be like the horizon. So what about like like a horizon seat?
Oh yeah.
Or seat of the sea. Because something purely literal, and nothing is imposed on it. It is just the thing that is there, and then the thing that is surrounding it, the things that are surrounding it.
Yeah. PB, what are you thinking?
Now I'm thinking a little bit more along those lines of what you would see, like the seat of seeing, or the seat of a horizon sight, or something like that. But I'm also just down to just call it the throne or the seat. Something simple but weighty.
I'm feeling maybe Horizon's seat. Which is kind of evocative and a little bit mysterious.
I'm totally fine with that.
Okay. And then, so Horizon's seat. And our short description of this is going to be something along the lines of a city of mass vigilantes and crime, a sword that fell from the stars. This is a what? Uh,
A cracked stone throne
mm,
at the edge where the land meets the sea.
a cracked stone throne where the land meets the sea. Uh, fabled to bring enlightenment. Right, to get the full fantasy, I suppose, right there on that one. Okay, awesome. Horizon Seat, a cracked stone throne where the land meets the sea, fabled to bring enlightenment. Okay. Ooh,
I like that.
okay. I love that. PB, you're next.
Not step 2. Hold on, I need to scroll back down. Step 3. Bookends. As a group, decide how our story begins and ends. Make one period at the start of our history and another at the end. Each period is a large chunk of time, perhaps years or decades or even centuries, with even more time in between. Our whole story will take place between these two bookends. Later on, we will make more periods to fill out what happens in between. To create our bookends, 1. Start or end. Decide which to make first. You can create them in either order. 2. Paint the picture. Describe what the chronicle is like or what happens to it during this time. Give a broad overview so you can clearly picture the idea, but don't go into detail. 3. Light or dark. Decide whether that period is light or dark. Discuss and explain why you think it's true. Go with whatever feels right. 4. Repeat and make the other bookend. Write each period on an index card oriented tall, as shown. Write start or end at the bottom of the card. Put the start card on the left and the end card on the right. They are the earliest and latest periods we'll explore and play, but the chronicle might exist long before our story starts or continue far after. This is just the part of the story that we're going to talk about. Throughout the game, you will be asked to say whether something you are creating is light or dark, and to explain why. You're never wrong, but your explanation is the important part. It helps us understand what other players think about what they've made. You might even find you get new insight into your own ideas as you try to explain your choice. Oh,
And they
should I
just
go
give you
into
a
the
couple
example on the next
examples.
page?
Examples just like, oh yeah, actually, go ahead, give us the example so we can keep it in our mind. Go ahead.
Okay, example, bookend periods. Our chronicle is the Martian plague, a disease brought back to Earth. We decide to start with a period of the first manned mission to Mars, when they unknowingly bring back a rock with a virus. Does that mean there is an outbreak? We decide that no, for now the sample is locked away and we don't even know there's a virus. We decide it's light because even though its lurking danger has come to Earth, as a time of achievement and progress, we made it to Mars. How apocalyptic do we want our ending to be? Do we want the plague to wipe out all of humanity? We could, but instead we decide to have scientists harness it, for better or worse. Our history ends with us engineering samples of the virus and using it for medical research to augment human evolution. We decide it's dark because some people are reaping these benefits and some aren't. Plus, we're playing God.
Okay. Okay. And PB, you have a great reading voice. So
Thank you.
yeah, so we have to make our bookends, the beginning and end of the part of the chronicle that we'll be talking about. Ooh, okay, okay, okay. Do people have thoughts about where to start and end it? Start or end first? Let's go here.
I feel like I dominated the last round, so I'm gonna let someone else take the reins on this.
PB, since you read it out, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Start or end?
I think end.
Mm-hmm.
The
Do you have an
end
idea?
of I'm thinking the end is not the total destruction of our seat, but
Mm-hmm.
rather a catastrophic change happens to it
Mm.
that might affect its mythos, its story.
Mm.
Um,
Oh. Oh. Oh, interesting. Do you have
that's where
ideas?
I'm honest. I mean,
Because,
just thinking, looking at these, at the causeway, the Giant's
mm-hmm.
Causeway, what it
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of visually, it reminds me of a frozen lake, and you know how sometimes it could get that kind of look to it
Mm-hmm.
when you break it away, when it's not like a solid
Mm.
ice and it's starting
Yeah.
to break away. It reminds me of that. And so when I think of this seat, something catastrophic happening to it, I almost think about it as those, I guess not icicles, but I'm going to call them icicles.
Mm.
Um, those icicles falling away, as if just evaporating, really. So I'm thinking something natural disaster or something more man-made happens to the area that maybe should have caused pure destruction, and rather it only partially caused
Mm.
destruction. But that's where my mind's at right now. I'd like
What
to hear your
about
ideas.
something like we could end with the discovery of what lies beneath? Like if there's some kind of destruction that falls things away, then what if there's something underneath that? You know what I mean? Like there's some sort of
Mm,
that
it reveals
there
something, yeah.
is it reveals something underneath, right? That there is something else underneath it, maybe, and that maybe we end the chronicle with this with the revelation of what lies beneath.
Hmm. That's exciting.
Billy, what are you thinking?
I don't know if I can add anything to that. That's pretty sweet. So, of the ways it can end, like mirroring our own existence, there are natural disasters that are happening because of our abuse of resources. Um, there are several man-made things that could happen at any particular time. Um, Wars, nuclear or equivalent weapons,
Hey, Prax.
conflict of some kind. Because like I feel like something like this happens because of conflict, regardless of whether or not it's between nations,
Mm-hmm.
characters, or forces of nature in and of itself,
We'll
right?
find out, really,
What is
right?
like a natural disaster, but a
Yep.
conflict of like air and
Mm-hmm.
sea, or fire and earth, or
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, uh, two tectonic plates that are like, hey, I want to go
Mm-hmm.
here now. And the other one's
Mm-hmm.
like, no, you don't. And it's like, all right, watch. And then that's how we get mountain ranges.
I suppose the big question that we'd have to think about if we're okay with the idea of this ending period being the revelation of what lies beneath. I don't know, Prax, does that seem interesting to you as our end period?
Um, is it the revelation of what lies beneath, or is it the loss of that possibility of that knowledge?
I mean, that's the question. I think that would be whether we think we want this to be like light or dark, right? Because that's is this like is this stripping away, right? This crack, the further cracking, I guess, right? Is that a light or a dark thing?
Do we
I
want to
ca-
consider that? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, no, you go, you go.
Like amongst the sentient beings around here, do we want to consider this like a protected space, or just a natural space that exists that anybody can go to at any time?
I think we don't know yet. I think we find out and play. We don't know that one yet. If we like the general idea that we end with the revelation of what happens beneath, and then maybe the story goes on later with whatever goes on from there, I think we would have to decide whatever what lies beneath means. There's some kind of revelation. There's some sort of like, and that revelation might be lost. It kind of, I think that depends, right? Do we want this to be a light or a dark period?
Well, the question is it even, I think if we go with a dark period, it's not even a revelation of what lies beneath. It's a loss of the ability to find that revelation, right? Like an utter destruction and a loss of that space.
Would it be a maybe transformation of the space when you say losing what was in that space? The first thing that came to my mind was that I think it's in Russia, but I'm unsure. It is that forever burning natural gas reserve.
The mouth of hell.
Yeah, the mouth of hell is the thing that came to my mind immediately. Something that has irrevocably been lost there, right?
Although I'm thinking about enlightenment, and I feel like if we have whatever happens, right, in this moment, this sort of transformation, right, there's some sort of transformation that happens, right? And if it's dark, it could be the revelation is what we find underneath, could be the dark thing, right? Or if it's light, it could be what is found underneath, and part of this the transformation is a light one or a dark one. I think that either way, the idea of some kind of transformation, sort of some kind of shift, right? That's basically enlightenment happens, right? That we now know something, right, that we did not know before about this place, something fundamental about the place, not about ourselves, but about the place, and that could either be positive or negative, I guess, right? I mean, I think that could go either way.
And I think too the impact on the individual and or the culture is on the lens in which it views this change. So it, based on how they view their personal journey to enlightenment, could be dark, as in you lost this thing forever, but this change revealing something that is new and fresh and allows you to glimpse things with a new set of eyes as a light. Right? So that almost seems like that light and dark is inherently subjective based on the individual lens that you're looking at it through. Because
right, and we have to decide which one we want, right? And we have to decide which one we want it to be. But do we like the idea of like the end period being something like the transformation of the seat, or the seat shifts, or how would we want to, like, do we like that as the end part of it, like when the seat itself somehow radically transforms, or is right that basically the relation that there's a fundamental relationship shift to what that seat is?
I think the end is the fallout from that change.
So
not
then what would you
the change itself?
So you're saying that the change is a point on our timeline, and then the actual end point is the response.
It's later?
Is later.
I'm saying that seems like an option that has a little more play. I guess it just depends on how final you want this thing to be. Like if it is the fin, the end, buttoned it up, no more story to tell, then the changing of the thing has catastrophic implications, which would imply that the change itself is dark.
Well, unless it's everyone gets nirvana, you know what I mean, like the
right.
Right. I mean, because it could be the change could be anything, and the story might continue on after, but our story ends with this, like with this bookend. Like, where is the end point of our story? Is the end point with the like the however you want to phrase it, right? The seat changes this, but it's like a it's a fundamental shift in how anybody understands this seat because of some kind of disaster or something like this. What are we thinking? Like it could, like the final end period could be uh, the great earthquake, or it could be the cracking, right? The sundering of the seat, or it could be uh, the some kind of uh, yeah. How would we want to frame what this end thing is?
Can I phone a friend?
Yes.
Pope. Pope. Can you just type in the first word that comes into your brain between light or dark?
Well, I think we have to. I think we have to decide that. Do we want
We
to
have to
have
decide
the?
that. Okay.
We do
Sorry,
have to
Pope.
decide that. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
I think if we're thinking about this as a narrative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of this seat of Horizon tied to, Horizon seat. I like I like playing with the expectation, and having this destruction, loss, whatever, actually being a light period.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like that too. I like this idea that maybe there's some kind of destruction, some kind of lost destruction, but then that in and of itself has some kind of positive, transformative thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what will we call it?
And so I know we were talking about like cracking or an earthquake or all of that, but I like instead an idea of the sea swallowing it.
Oh, okay, okay. Um,
What do you think?
I love all the variants of the apocalypse.
what do you think, PB?
I like the idea. I just am not imaginative enough to know the destruction that could brought on it at this very
We just
moment.
decide. We just decide later. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
becomes yeah, yeah. So the sea reclaims the seat.
And I think if we want to go with the broader light concept, I think the sea
Mhm.
dissolves the seat. So it
Oh,
becomes one with the sea.
the sea dissolves the seat.
Are we thinking like erosion, or like
Uh,
something that happens fast because of an instance
I
or a
think
thing that happened?
I think it's an instance thing, right? Like
yeah.
this is that moment. It's like that bookend, right? Like because you want that
Mm-hmm.
bookend,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
erosion would be less of
Very
a
Mm-hmm.
slow.
bookend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like that recent formation over the sea. I say recent, it might have been a couple of years ago, because what is time?
Mm-hmm.
That it was one of those places you would always go and like take a picture of and look at, because it was a
Mm-hmm.
really fun formation. And then in the
Mm-hmm.
past couple of years, part of it just fell,
Collapsed. Yeah.
collapsed, and that was like a huge moment for the area and for that formation. So yeah, I like that idea of it just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
collapsing.
So yeah, and maybe we have more. Maybe we have like rising sea levels, right? And which seems bad, but maybe the dissolving of the seat ends up being like there's something that good that happens there. Um,
Because if you think about
we'll
like like the thought that comes to mind, because particularly because we're talking about
mm,
if it's positive or if it's light or dark,
mm,
the sea dissolves the seat, but then that enlightenment no
mm-hmm,
longer is tied to a singular place. It's tied to everywhere the sea touches. which expands the.
Okay. All right. Well, what's our starting period? Missile Monkeys think about Atlantis, right? I think there's something kind of interesting there, right, with like echoes of Atlantis as well. Um, what would be our where do we start?
The crack.
Oh, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's an interesting starting point.
Right? It was like before that, it's just
Mm-hmm.
a rock formation, but the crack,
Mm-hmm.
the change that causes it to become a,
Mm.
for lack of a better term, place of power, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
wasn't a seat until the crack.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or it was,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't an actual like seat of power.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
physical place where someone could sit.
Mm-hmm.
But then becomes
Mm-hmm.
horizon seat through the crack.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, can we make it bigger with something like uh, the the crack? Uh, uh, okay, okay, work with me. What do we think about this? The crack happens. Um, I'm thinking about drought, and I'm thinking about like uh, uh, something like this being like a mythic epoch, like a time of like I'm gonna say words because I don't have it completely in my mind, right? But like this crack might happen uh, at the high point of a drought, or like when like like when the tides are super low, when there's like a some kind of
When
like a
I like the when that we've got,
mm-hmm,
and I want to kind of extend that kind of when to a mythologically explained why. It's
mm-hmm,
truth or veracity we can play with, but
yeah.
the the crack is actually the death of a god.
Oh, uh-huh.
Mm.
Uh,
And it's
can we
that,
like the death of the god of the sea?
or yeah, AC god perhaps or something,
Mm-hmm,
but a and that ties back to this like cataclysmic
mm-hmm,
period of drought,
mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
the sea is receded
mm-hmm.
significantly. um the
Mm.
death of the
Ooh,
tides, which
yeah,
there'd be a
Popes is the death of the
geological.
tides, which I think
Yeah, but
is
like
yeah.
in like I have this. Go with me for this image, right? Just
Mm-hmm,
go with me for
mm-hmm,
this image and feel free to tweak and twist and manipulate.
mm-hmm,
The murder of a god on a seat
mm,
and the death of the god
mm,
of
mm,
this point that grants this place and changes and
mm-hmm,
cracks that seat, right? Like
mm-hmm,
the sword strike
mm-hmm,
that kills the god
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
cracks the seat.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Um, I kind of quite like the idea of the death of tides, because maybe right in this moment, if we think of this initial period as dark with the crack of the seat, right, and the death of the god of tides, then we have like becalmed seas for
Yes.
you mean like right? That
Mm.
could be, and that's
And
pretty
that
dark, right?
it's the darkest thing that you can have at sea,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
because I mean, before the advent of
Mm,
mechanized um like mechanized sea travel, a
mm-hmm.
dead calm sea
Yeah.
was deadly
Yeah.
because you
Mm.
couldn't go anywhere. You need the
Yeah.
wind and the tide.
Uh, yeah. I think I like that. How do you all feel about that?
I like it.
And it's
Okay.
And
pretty
like,
epic.
That is pretty epic. Um,
yeah, why Muscle Monkey is like, why only the death of one god, but why not a war of the gods? I think it's a murder that causes the seat, but the rest of the mythology of what's going on in this epoch that caused the the famine, the drought, all of these other things is probably tied to some sort of war of the gods. But the seat, and I'm hyper focusing on the seat is and the crack that brings it to a place of power is caused by the murder of this god, of the death of tides.
Just a question. I'm bringing this up because Hawkeye sort of suggested a renaming of our thing from Horizon Seat to the Throne of Tides. Just want to throw that there as a thought. Famine, the calm.
What if that's what it was called before the crack?
Oh.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Yeah, that is spicy. Also, I think that's kind of interesting. If you think about Horizon Seat, maybe it's a thing that people use for like navigation, right? Or like that's like part of Enlightenment has something to do with that, right? Okay, great. Prax, you are step 4.
Step 4, palette. Make a list of things we all agree belong or don't belong in our history. This palette establishes the rules for the rest of our game. Before we create more history, we'll talk about what we want and don't want in our story. The goal is to all get on the same page about what belongs in our setting to avoid disagreements and surprises later on. We'll each contribute our ideas, but the palette is a discussion. We should all agree what goes on the list. 1. Make columns for yes and no on a card.
Right there.
Each player can add one thing either to the yes or no side. Players can go in any order. Add something to the yes side if you want it to be part of the story and you think the other players would not expect it to be included. Add something to the no side if you don't want it to be in the story, but you think the other players would expect it to belong. Discuss with each other before writing it down. No one should be unhappy about what winds up on the palette. If every player added something, either in the yes or no column, each player gets to go again and add something else. Keep going until someone does not have anything they want to add. When that happens, let the other players finish their contributions for this round, then stop. Your palette is done. For the rest of the game, it is everyone's job to respect the palette and stick to what you agreed to. The palette is not an exhaustive list of what will be in the story. It's a list of exceptions or surprises. If something fits the setting, like wizards in a fantasy world, you probably don't need to add it to the yes column because the other players already expect it. Likewise, if something really seems really out of place, like wizards in a science fiction setting, you probably do not need to put it in the no column unless you think other players want to include it. When in doubt, discuss. If there is something weird you want to add to the story, now is the time to bring it up. Being surprised by what happens in the story is good, but being surprised by what belongs is not. A player wants religion in the no column, but someone asks if that means no gods. They discuss and agree that what the player actually wants is no organized religion, no churches or priests. Gods can totally be real. They write organized religions, churches, priests as one entry in the no column, for example.
Okay. You get to start, Prax, for a yes or a no. And then we'll just go around. I'm going to put our turn order up here. And this is where we get to be weird.
We do get to be weird. And it's
we haven't been allowed to do that before this moment.
But I feel now we really get to be weird.
Like, I'm going to say no to extraterrestrial beings.
Okay. I'm going to say, and then Billy, you're up next. I'm going to say, that's not how you spell extraterrestrial. There we go. I want to say, I have an idea of what this is. I don't know how to frame this as either a yes or a no. I think no major land masses, or yes to lots of islands, right? I'm thinking
So archipelago, no giant continents.
at least not that are above water. I guess is yes, right? So not anymore, right? So so
A
I'm thinking
winnable
of
game of Risk.
yes, right. So I'm thinking kind of like a water world, right? I mean, there is land, but of course it's just not. There's just not like lots and lots of it. How do we feel about like basically no Pangea, right? Says Unstable Deus, right? So that thinking about this as being a society with the implication that this is a society that travels by sea a lot, right? Because there's like a very sort of mariner sort of society, at least especially before the crack. So how do we is that good for everybody? Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that a yes or a no? Yes to uh,
No to
is that a
giant
no?
land masses.
Thank you. Um,
I think is what you're trying to say here.
thank you, Billy.
Hmm. Hmm. I feel like to balance things out, I need to have a yes.
What would you love?
Because so no, there's no extraterrestrials. Can we define that?
Oh, that's a good question.
So like sentient, or maybe not even like anything from outside of this planet or this.
Planet.
Okay. But now, what is on this planet? So like, are there several sentient species? Are there,
That's up to you.
are we staying true to, like a little more close to home in terms of like evolved simian, opposable thumb.
That's up to you.
Well, I really
That's up
hope
to
they have
all of us.
opposable thumbs because pulling lines without
Yes.
them is going to be real difficult.
Okay. You know,
But there are
I
other
think
adaptations. Like there are other,
that's true.
like what would have happened if octopi became sentient, or sea
Or
snakes
more.
became sentient? Like we haven't even talked any tools yet for anything.
So I like where you're going with this idea of multiple sentient species. I was just putting a no on space travel.
Okay.
Like the seat that the Horizon seat was not made by ancient aliens. Basically, is
Yep.
yeah.
There is no weirdo with fan hair. Although he's probably
Okay.
going to justify it at some point.
Aliens. So let's say yes to. Oh gosh. Yes to.
I see you, Void.
Oh gosh. It's so hard when the page is blank.
But what's a thing you would really love to see in our story of Horizon seat?
I'm gonna go yes to like several sentient civilized species.
I'm going to ask a clarification.
Please.
Are we, because this is me being a linguist and being very particular, are we saying yes to multiple sentient sapient species, in the sense that they are true separate species that cannot reproduce together? Or are they like quote unquote fantasy world species where they can reproduce together? They just,
I think those aren't necessarily mutually exclusive, because
or are
you
we
can
saying it's
have,
all both?
they can
Yeah.
perhaps participate in the same levels of society and have accords and have like a massive history of coexisting, without the like ability to reproduce, because we can make what we want, I guess.
Yeah.
So we can define that as we, I think, move forward.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
I like
just
the idea of both.
idea,
I'm just,
the idea of like, all right, there is a certain series of things that happen to small apes for us to happen, and then there are several
Squids.
series of things that happen to octopi, to like iguanas, to birds, that make them like something is present here where the same things that happen to our brains happen to other species in different ways.
Condor people
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
the reason I asked Billy is, it was like, how much monster fucking is happening?
This is the question. Well,
Here's the
you know,
thing.
you can.
You said strictly reproduce from like a societal standpoint. You didn't say
That's true. Yeah.
This is true, because it's a question of species versus races, which is a linguistic point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can. I think that nothing definitive happens by deciding that now. So I think we can leave that for later down the road.
Okay. Put a pin in it and come back.
PB.
I would like to. I'm thinking. Yes. To. Hold on. Let me just check one thing just to make sure before I say. Just gonna. Okay. I would say yes to actual sea monsters, things that would be classified as sea monsters.
Krakens in the deep. I like krakens in the deep.
Ooh, Prax, you're up.
Ooh, Do we want a yes or a no at this moment?
Either one.
Yeah.
It's balanced. You get to
get to break the balance again. On. It's fine.
Apex avian florin. I have to think of mine because I'm after Prax.
Ooh, I'm going to say no to industrialization.
Great. To clarify, we're still good with technology in that kind of pre-industrial area, like med. Are we like good for med ren?
Mm-hmm. I'm saying this is a land of sail,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
not a
Mm-hmm.
land of internal combustion engine.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Um, I have uh, a yes, and I'm going to have to try to explain it because I'm sure there'll be questions here. Um, yes to a different sense, like shifting solids. What I mean by that is, uh, I think that like we have floating islands. Like I think that there's like the physics of it is not like our world, right? I'm not saying there's magic. That's a whole different conversation. People can pick that or not. But I think the idea that like these large archipelagos and islands, they may not be fixed, set in, like they might be able to move, right? Uh, I kind of
They
want to
flow with the
introduce the
tide.
idea. Yeah, they flow with the tides, and now I suppose they're not so much, right? But that the idea that basically the reality of the world we're in does not conform to the kind of physics that necessarily that we have, and so I want to represent that with the idea that the land moves with the tide, if that right. But that's like a naturally occurring thing. It's not like these are not artificially man-made floating islands. This is just how land works in this place. That right, that things that are solid are also shifting. If that, so I'm going to say uh, land land shifts with the tide. Uh, Shifts with the tide. And I hope you know what I mean by that. That basically we have like um, a less rigid um, physics
So to tie into
and
that question,
geology. Yes.
you say less rigid physics. Are there also aerial floating islands?
I'm super happy with that too. I'm cool with that. Like I like the idea that
I,
basically gravity doesn't necessarily like the fundamentals of physics don't work exactly the same way on this place as in our
I like
place.
that idea.
Uh, yes. Uh, and I'll just sort of slash rigid. So floating islands. Floating islands.
Hmm.
Billy.
Is that all 6?
That is 6. Yep. So basically, you can have floating islands. You can have like, you know what I mean? Like it's like we're not bound to um, our world's ideas of physics, I guess is the best way to put it.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Are we doing more, or was that the limit?
No, you're supposed to go
We
around
Oh, okay.
until somebody
until
passes.
until somebody passes. The minute somebody
Okay.
passes, we finish the round, and then we
Hmm.
go with
As
what's
long as we
left.
have ideas. Roller says magnetic displacement. Hmm. Yes, that's lovely. Magnetic displacement. I'm going to write that down. I'm taking notes. Hmm. I'm also going to write down throne of tides when we had tides. Comes the and you can always pass. And if you pass, we just finish the round, and then we're done. But this is the chance for you to get the things in there that you want. You know.
Um,
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And for the record, I'm neither yesing or knowing magic. I just want kind of like like a different kind of physics.
Hmm.
physics, yeah. Um, here's something that we can explore.
Mm.
No to magic.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Now,
So
to clarify,
everything is. Go ahead.
uh, is when you say no to magic, do you mean individuals wielding magic or magic in the world itself? Do you know what I mean?
Um,
Or both?
so let's explore that. So individuals wielding magic, we could do no and have that be like exclusive to these gods that we've established, or some other caste of entity. We could do no magic, but if there's no magic or no super, then what are these gods? Um, uh, but I think this, like the quote unquote like low fantasy, no
Mm-hmm.
fantasy setting,
Mm-hmm.
leaves more power to the individual to
Mm-hmm.
work collaboratively with
Mm-hmm.
one another
Mm-hmm.
to ascertain the thing that they're looking for versus controlling
Mm-hmm.
individuals to
Mm-hmm.
ascertain the
Mm-hmm.
things that they're looking for, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But that could also mean that could still happen with
Mm-hmm.
warfare,
Mm-hmm.
uh, a
Mm-hmm.
structure of fear and depression and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. But you cannot do that with things like, well,
Magic.
you should be afraid because I can make fire come out of my hands at any moment.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I like the idea to kind of clarify that idea, if you don't mind, Billy,
Mm-hmm.
um, of if individuals lack the ability of magic,
Mm-hmm.
but enlightenment is rumored to cause it, which would
Oh.
be a
Mm-hmm.
reason for people to
Mm-hmm.
seek.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And but
Mm-hmm.
if it doesn't exist, if magic doesn't exist, the concept would then have to be like prescribed in dreams to ascertain such a new means to achieve their ends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 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 What do you think of PB?
Um, what am I thinking? I am I am just thinking of how that would restructure the world in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with the shifting
Mm-hmm.
lands
Mm-hmm.
and the um
Mm-hmm.
and how I guess what would be considered the magics then
Mm-hmm.
that would come
Mm-hmm.
from this seat. Because I mean, magic doesn't exist in this world, and we people believe in magic. You know, like
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that there's individuals who had
Mm-hmm.
special
Mm-hmm.
abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm just thinking about how that would relate to this world.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking to tie into that and tie into what we've said about this throne, this seat,
Mm-hmm.
being a place of pilgrimage for enlightenment, more
Mm-hmm.
along the lines of less magic and more to channel a whole lot of uh, Chinese dramas at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
more a concept of cultivation, right? Like in C dramas or the concept of Taoist cultivation, right? Like, you know, through bettering yourself and enlightenment, you can achieve certain abilities that aren't
Mm-hmm.
magic,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I'm getting from Billy this idea that basically there is no individual harnessing of magical power, right? Like that
Yeah.
basically no one's casting fireballs, no one can do like you don't have like individual big magic. Does that make sense, Billy? Is that the vibe you're going for?
No inherent control over the elements, no manifestation of arcane energies. Like all of the beings that exists came from like a biological nature and are only inherent to the gifts that their flesh is heir to.
Okay, so let's say no individual magic.
And we could do no magic for gods too, but then we'd have to define what these gods are. And I think
we don't know if they exist right now, right? We had them, but we don't know what they mean. No individual magic. Okay. PB. I will note. Billy? Do you, within your thing, can we still have like a mystical world where like maybe you like in the same way I'm thinking about like in ancient Greece, maybe I don't have magic, but I think that there's a mystical world that exists. You know what I mean? Like there are sea monsters and there are like these things that are kind of supernatural. Even if I can't.
mean, we've already said yes to sea monsters.
Yeah. So we have this supernatural but not individual magic. Yeah.
Considering the amount of horse shit that sapient brains are susceptible to, through charisma, all things are possible. So you can subscribe to this mysticism. Like again, in this world, no magic is in ours. No magic is real, but there are folks that do certainly think that.
But are you, when you say no magic, are you prescribing the supernatural, ghosts, portents, that kind of thing?
I don't think I would apply to that, because I think what happens to a soul isn't inherently controlling or magic-y, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right. PB.
I think I'll say it anyways. I was gonna say it before the no magic rule. But you know what? I'm gonna keep it. Yes to gods existing.
Are they currently running around? Give us more on this one. Because we had the crack, right? We knew we had to go. We start with this dark period of the war. Where are we at now? Gods exist, but what does that mean? I guess I would ask.
Did you define exactly why the land masses move for yours?
No, I did not. I just that I want moving ones. That like basically I don't want us to be tied down to the way that the world works in our world. So whatever that means, right? I have left it open.
Then yes, the gods are doing their thing still.
Follow-up question. Are the gods sort of like the Greek gods who don't really pay attention to us? Or are they like, because you can have like pantheons where gods are really excited about us and pay attention to us quite a lot, or ones where they don't. What is your you never really want the Greek gods to pay attention to you because it usually turns out poorly for you. They tend to go do their own thing, and then when they hang out with you, it's usually not always the best thing when they do. What's the relation between the gods and the universe, right, and the world?
No, I've not watched the movie, so I'm sorry to all of those who have watched this movie and do enjoy it. But I do know things of this movie, and I'm thinking like the I haven't watched the movie. The spirit that in Moana that they go and they have to do their whole
Tahiti.
thing on Tahiti.
Not Tafriti. Sorry, it's Tafriti.
Tafriti.
It's not Tahiti, which is the island mass, but yes.
Where it is a part of our world that exists and benefits and takes away. So I don't want to say they don't care about the things that exist on the world, because I think intrinsically they have to.
They're like nature.
Yeah, but like they're doing their own thing. You know, they're on their own cycle, and they can take notice of the sapience on the world that they inhabit. But like, and like their troubles in between each other do cause issues for the sapiens. But to them it's more like a life cycle sort of deal, like things come and go.
So gods exist and they have larger concerns, though, do impact.
And they are grounded on our world. I like more the idea that they are here and not
like they're tied to
idea.
They're tied to like the physical world.
Yeah.
Like so to like use your Moana example, right? And use it further to actual Hawaiian mythology, like Lady Pele, right? Lady Pele is the goddess of the volcano and the lava, but she's specifically the goddess of volcanoes in Hawaii and the archipelago of Hawaii. And there's a similar goddess in other Polynesian cultures, but they're distinct and it's tied to a physical being, which is why like the murder of the god of the tides is distinct and unique because it was he was the god of all, he, she, it, they was the god of all tides versus this particular location, archipelago. What do we think?
I like it. Yeah.
Yes, I do like that. Prax, it is you.
Okay, so no to magic, yes to gods, no to extraterrestrials, yes to monsters. I'm going to say
wider.
And I'm going to go with what I was, it ties into that concept of enlightenment and that Taoist. I'm going to say there is a belief that you can gain metaphysical powers, not magical powers, but metaphysical, which is always about your own, overcoming your own physical limitations, right? Like, you might live longer, you have better strength, you can, you know, overcome disease better. It's, through ritual cultivation, different species and different things have different pathways to it, but there is this concept of the ability to obtain metaphysical
through pathways. Yeah.
What are we thinking?
I like that there is a belief in this being possible. Which sort of implies perhaps mythics, like mythical mystics and things like that, like stories about heroes and mystics and that sort of thing.
Its truth or veracity is,
but it's something that people pursue. Do I have one? I'm gonna go with because I think we've got metaphysics and supernatural, but no magic. We've got sea monsters. We've got uh, islands, which floating islands, which may be on the sea or above, up in the air. We've got grounded people who are themselves like regular sentient folks of different types. Um, no industrialization. Um, I will say, okay, I would like to say, I don't know if it needs to be said, but I would like to say yes to mythicness, if that makes any sense, right? And I'm thinking about when I say mythicness, I mean this is a world where people believe in what is real is a different thing, right? But like, uh, they can't wield magic, but maybe there's like a mystical trident or a great hero, right? Like you know like a
Mhm.
Heracles or but like the idea that there's like a but this is a place where the because like Heracles doesn't have magic, but the idea that this is a world where they're like with Age of Heroes kind of a thing, right? Like there's like the ability to believe in people doing great deeds and maybe some great heroes or you know, you might be able to find a special artifact or that kind of a thing, right? That this there's like a kind of like there's an Excalibur perhaps, right? Or a
Mhm.
that kind of a thing, like a mythicness, uh, if that how do we feel about that?
I like that.
I like it.
Okay.
I like how it could tie into the gods.
Yeah, right. And I think would imagine if we're thinking about various uh, different kinds of pantheons, right? That mythicness is often tied to the gods, right? That in some kind of a way that these are there might be like gifts of gods or you know what I mean? Like that kind of like those things sort of yes,
Mhm.
yes. Billy, put down heroes,
Wait, isn't
artifacts.
uh,
Because I did troop. That's me troop. So then it's Billy. I think is next,
yeah.
right? Because yeah. Do you have one?
I'm. Hmm,
There. That that works. And you can also always pass if you don't have something.
I um I'm trying to squeeze the idea for or
Mm,
squeeze as much as I can to see if something like novel comes out.
hmm
um kind of a smaller thing, but
Sure.
because conflict is so abundant over resources, I've been
Would you
tossing
like to
around
establish
like
that?
right if how abundant or not abundant are resources.
hmm
Is
hmm
it an environment of scarcity where survival is very
hmm
big,
hmm
or is this, or are there like really advanced societies because resources are super abundant and a lot of people's basic needs are easily met?
hmm Uh,
Um,
that I feel like you can decide if you have a yes or no on that one.
Well, I think that's another really big deal. So I don't want to have people not want to live in a world with either. So are any of those things, are any of those two options for any of y'all a hell no?
I like the idea of the starting era being a place of scarcity at least, but then it might change over time.
Yeah, I'm okay with the idea of both happening, with the cycle of their
Yeah,
existence.
yeah. Because like the
How
starting being like a big sort of traumatic space for the gods themselves, and so there might be right sort of
how about this
stress.
balance, but based on there are like 2 seasons on
Oh.
the yearly thing. So you have a season of abundance and you have a season of scarcity, and they are
Mm-hmm.
drastic. The switch
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
drastic based on events.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of both at times. Now it could be like the way Game of Thrones does seasons, where winters last years, or we can do it like a yearly cycle where you have 6 months of surplus and 6 months of scarcity to kind of like I kind of, there's not a lot of things in my mind, a storytelling atmosphere out there that actually put you through what a decade long scarce season would be. Like the winter is coming. You just hear about it and you don't get to live it, because then
And
the
we do
series
in this
sucks and the
game.
story ends. Yeah.
We'll say like decades long. Two drastic decades long seasons, one of scarcity, one of abundance.
Yeah.
And
I'm into that.
I think based on the creation of this definition of like, floating islands and this archipelago system, I think it's not like what we expect of like a winter or a summer, but it's a season of floods, right? The seas, like,
Yeah.
and like the islands of. I like this idea that the seas rise, but so do the islands, and so the
Yeah.
the islands that would be more conducive for um, agricultural abundance and whatnot, literally rise above
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
that kind of.
Question. Could be like floods versus winds. I think the question I would ask is uh, which one is the abundance season? Is floods abundance or is it scarcity?
Because the floods could bring food.
But
Yeah,
also
maybe.
scarcity because it gets rid of land space, the very
Yeah.
precious
Oh,
land
yeah,
space
yeah.
they have.
Yeah.
And I think it's like the waters rise, and at the same time, certain islands rise above the ability for people to
Yeah.
actually cultivate
Use
upon.
them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So scarcity is the flood season. Billy, what are you thinking for abundance?
I mean, you would think naturally the opposite would be like the recession of the tides, the drought, if you want to call it. And like, it's weird because
There
can
was
there really be a drought if the whole world is water?
um well what they would imagine. There was a storybook that I read as a kid about these Chinese brothers. Were there seven of them? Maybe I can't remember. Does anybody remember this one where each one of them had some kind of special gift? Like one of them had like an iron neck, and they were twins, and one of them had like they each had different abilities, and uh, one of them could swallow up the sea. Like that was their ability. They could
Yes.
just like, right? And he could swallow up the sea, and then the other brother would want to go off and like get treasure because like on the seabed there's like shipwrecks and treasure and all that. But the person went out too long and he couldn't hold it anymore, right? They had to spit the sea back out. So the idea being that like if tides are low, then maybe there's more land to cultivate, but also maybe you get access to things, right? there are places you could access to that you couldn't get access to otherwise. And Mr. Monkey's like, what if it's a natural occurrence similar to how like rice fields work? Yes, like maybe high tide, low tide. For high tide is scarcity and low tide is abundance.
And then high tide, low tide is just a decade.
Yeah.
Perhaps because there's a massive moon that orbits very slowly.
Are we going to have any of that affected by the death of the god of tides?
Probably, right? I think so.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Did the decades of tides begin with the death of the god of tides?
Oh.
And before that, it was a more
regular.
Or, according to the stories, was
Yeah,
a more
according to the stories.
regulated.
Yeah.
Because the god of the tides is the one that actually made that happen regularly, right? And so
Yeah.
with PB, do you have one?
No, on typical metal tools. Not to say that they haven't reached a technology state that would allow them to do metal tools, but I think they just have different materials that they use.
Like bone or coral or obsidian, or
resources that might come from the things from the sea, the other sea life, sea monsters, the gods themselves that they produce.
I think that's good. Prax. My girlfriend, Bill says, my girlfriend turned to the moon. That's tough, buddy. It sucks when like these things happen sometimes.
This is what I wanted. Sorry. I want to read this for a second.
For making that a quick turnaround.
No. That was.
I had an idea. I'm just trying to figure out how to phrase it. Oh. What? I want to say. Because I think. No to universal language. The question of a lingua franca we can come back to, but no common universal language.
I think that's good.
I mean, if you stop and think about, we have entirely different species of development that,
Yeah.
vocal cords may not be the same.
Yeah. I am going to pass because I think I'm good with that, which means that then we would get one last round of you three if you have something to add. Billy's out for a second, so we'll come back to him if he has it. PB? I love the palette. It just makes me so happy. Just, I kind of like this place. Like, I think coral maybe, right? Kind of neat.
It's not strong enough.
It may be in this world. We have floating islands,
Very special coral.
Because
it's hollow. That's his point.
Floating islands, maybe there's a lot of coral houses or something on the floating islands, right? Because that won't be too heavy. Maybe you have Probably a lot of wood, maybe. Oh.
Um, so my thought is some sort of um aural phenomena that happens
Oh.
in the world um that I don't know how to phrase
Mm-hmm.
a something that happens on a sort of a cyclical manner where it will happen, at this point, at this time. But it is a natural phenomena. It's not something that the animal's seeing or something like that. I'm just thinking because the lands are moving, I'm thinking that there could be some sort of aural phenomena that exists because of that. That helps, has like um a shared meaning across all the sapiens of the world.
So like an auditory cue of the tides changing, like
Or
the
something like that. Yeah.
Like the
yeah.
winds or something.
Yeah, something
Okay,
that
look. We
like
have it is canonically required at this point because of the three people who are and PB who are playing, but the three people who are playing who've played this game extensively, the winds howl when the
Um,
tides shift.
Winds howling.
Thank you, Billy.
So that kind of implies that maybe there's some kind of like echolocation is partly maybe how this society also works in some kinds of ways, perhaps. Some kind of like,
yeah. I'm just thinking of something shared, something that can be shared
yeah.
between all the different
Mm-hmm.
cultures. And because I mean, it is a bunch of just island societies all over the
Mm-hmm.
place.
Where
So it's difficult to get things across.
perhaps it looks like I missed the no common universal language entry, but how about some sort of musical? So there's no exchanging of words and direct things, but there's some sort of musicality, perhaps percussion or conch shells.
Okay, so here's a thing that I could throw out there as a possibility. So in San Francisco, we had the Exploratorium in the Palace of Fine Arts. Apparently, it's no longer there anymore. But they had these really two cool chairs, and of course, the Exploratorium was like this like big space with full of people and exhibits and all sorts of stuff. It's all very like sciencey, nerdy stuff, right? And they had in two different ends of this building these two chairs that you could sit in, and if you sat in the chair and you spoke like a normal volume, and you were sitting, somebody sitting in the other chair could hear it like it was just there. Like, and the chairs had these like kind of like half circles behind them. It was like acoustically sort of built so that if you spoke, the acoustics were such that it would be sent to this other space. So like, what if there's some kind of like acoustical phenomena that allows
Sound to carry.
sound to carry beat between places. But if you're thinking about it being a cyclical thing, maybe it is not something that they made. Maybe it's something that is like there are these natural spaces where if you go in certain moments, you can then, right? It is a thing that will connect people that way. What do you think about that?
What if there's one space that does that? What if that's the seat?
Oh.
That is
Mm-hmm.
unique to that thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
it happens, like
Mm-hmm.
sound carries along the wind or whatever. But when you sit on the seats, you get that phenomena. What I mean, who knows if your sound carries, but maybe sound carries to you. And that's that could be attached to
I like that
the
a lot.
mythos.
What
Mhm.
I
if
like that a lot.
what if the sound that carries to the seat, again tying into that concept of
Mhm.
enlightenment and
Mhm.
power, is called the voice of the gods.
Mhm.
Mm,
Whether it is or not, we can get into, but like it's known as the voice of the gods. You can hear the voice of the gods at the seat.
mhm,
Mhm.
mhm.
I'm going to put
Yeah.
down wind carries sounds.
Increase sounds, and
Uh,
because of that, the phenomena exists where in that seat you get
um,
that.
how throwing this out there, the tide winds, because we're thinking about like there's the idea that maybe that they howl when the tides change, but maybe also that's when the tides change once every 10 years. That's when you can actually send word without having to travel, right? Like when if the winds
Mm,
carry sound, you might be able to communicate with people very far away once every, I mean, unless you can sail, I guess, right? But I mean, otherwise, like there's that moment where your sound will carry and you might be able to get messages back and forth.
mhm. Or yeah. It could also be like a thing where you celebrate a moment where
Mm-hmm.
suddenly all the shared cultures can hear each
Mm-hmm.
other.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot
Yeah.
of possibility that we can go
Yeah.
with that.
Billy, we're coming back to you for your last go, if you have one. Yeah, I kind of like this idea that like once every 10 years, like the tide winds come and they send the sounds everywhere, and then like everyone can kind of hear each other, but there's like a ritual or something, like the ritual of
Hmm.
the ritual of the tide winds, and you can have music with each other, and uh, like there's that moment where the winds will carry everything across.
Yeah, because I just keep thinking about what if everything is constantly moving,
Mm-hmm.
what would be
Mm-hmm.
this world's North Star, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Um, how about yes to magic, one night in the change of the seasons,
Oh.
like an equinox
Like
has
Mm-hmm.
exceptions,
the veil thins
Mm-hmm.
kind of
like
thing.
conjunction of orbs, whatever you want to call
Mm-hmm.
it, the thing that grants like a
Mm-hmm.
storied night of chaos of the thing that grants the
Mm-hmm.
gods their
Mm-hmm.
abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Either a select few or everyone gets it, so it's like a weird purge.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm also thinking that like if like perhaps that's when the gods do the renewal, like or the changeover between the high tide gods and the low tide gods. There's a thing, and that also allows for the tide winds, which connects all the people, and then mystical things happen. Like it's that there's like a every 10 years, there's like everyone's very excited about what might happen right in this moment where you can connect. Maybe you
Chaos,
can even like I don't know,
change. Yeah.
yeah,
And then like
maybe.
civilizations and empires are kind of built off of taking advantage of and or preventing change in these
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
chaotic
Mm-hmm.
cycles.
Mm-hmm. 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 Hmm. Ooh, there's a lot of possibilities there, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
visions. You maybe speak to ghosts, like all sorts of things that happen, like on those equinoxes.
And like
Uh,
that could be the equinox could be the culmination, but things like dreams and things can happen
yeah.
beforehand as the veil thins,
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, and that's how you
before
know,
and after
right?
that night.
Yeah, that we're getting close to it. Um, Prax, you're our last one.
Mm. I feel
All right, that's all very good. I like that.
mm, Hmm.
Like maybe even like it's not like exactly 10 years each time. Like it's just around
Yeah,
10 years, right?
it
And then,
shifts.
yeah,
I
it
like that.
shifts.
But what
Generally
about
around 10 years.
ooh, I like this idea. No to supernatural monsters of the lands.
Oh.
Mm.
There's
Mm.
dangers in the deep, but
Mm-hmm.
not on land.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's not to say there aren't predators, right? Like
Right.
that's
Yes. Yeah. 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 I feel
cryptids
good about
know
that. Yeah.
wolves possible.
Yeah. And moose, which
I just
very
don't
scary
think we
looking.
would have I'm going to be honest, I don't think we have
Mm,
moose.
I agree with you, but you know what I mean. Some you're like,
Yes.
oh, that's a probably
Moose like
probably like
swimming also.
it's true, or like what do you call them?
They're
Emu maybe.
diverse.
No, sure.
Like
Yeah.
scary birds. Okay, so that, by the way, is our palette done. We have finished it. We have a world here. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and when we come back, we're going to finish up our setup. When we're going to do our first and second pass, and then we'll be ready for next week to actually do that. So we're going to take a 10-minute break, stretch, right? Drink some fluid, stretch your legs, and when we come back, we're going to do our first, we're going to do our passes. Oh, okay. We'll be right back, everybody.
This is
And hello, everybody. Hello. There we go. Hi. Welcome back. As we finish up the setup for Microscope Chronicle, and this part is a shift. This is a different moment. So I will read step 5, which is to change our vibe, as it were, before we actually do our rounds. Billy goes first, by the way, when we do our initial setup rounds. So, step 5. End discussion. So far, we've been creating together, but from now on, each player contributes individually. When it's your turn, don't ask for ideas. When it's someone else's turn, don't make suggestions or coach. But nothing we make should contradict what we've already said. If you see someone introducing a contradiction, point it out so that we can fix it. We want each player to come up with their own ideas so we can be surprised by the direction the story takes. From now on, the rules are: 1. Don't coach, make suggestions, or ask for ideas, but you can always help if someone doesn't understand the rules. 2. Don't contradict what we have already created, including the palette. If someone else contradicts something we established, point it out. Asterisks. Coming up with names can be hard, so this is the one case where you can ask for help and collaborate. Also, we see you chat, you too. If someone makes something unclear, you can ask for clarification, but don't sneak in your own ideas. Only ask questions that are honestly questions, not suggestions. You can also remind other players of things that we already established if they have overlooked them. Sometimes a player will need to form their idea and will have to just sit and wait, and that's fine. Be patient. If you have an idea, but it's not your turn, save it. Don't talk about it, keep it secret, but always be ready to change your plans if something happens to make your ideas not work anymore. The story may not turn out as you expect, and that is part of the fun. Billy, would you read First Pass? Step 6.
First Pass. We already know how our history begins and ends. So now we'll start filling in what happens in between. Each player makes one period or event. Go in any order. A period is a large chunk of time, like the bookends we made to start and end, our history. And an event is a specific thing that happens inside a period. You'll make more periods and events throughout the game, so see make period and make event for step-by-step instructions. You can put events inside the bookends, just like any other period.
Okay. We're going to keep our, what do you call it? The cycle, but anyone could start if somebody has a period or an event they would like to make, and if so, they'll need to read out the make period page or make event page, depending on which they would prefer to do. I would be happy to make a period and then have us go around if that's cool with people.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So make period. A period is a major chunk of history, years, decades, or even centuries. To make a period, describe what your chronicle is like during this time and how it differs from the periods around it. Periods flow from left to right, earlier periods on the left and later on the right. To make a period, you pick when it is, and it must be between any two adjacent periods, and you describe the period. What is the era like? How is the chronicle different from other periods? And you give a broad overview, but don't go into detail. We should be able to clearly picture what happens. And then light or dark. Don't think about the future consequences, just what happened in the period you made. Explain your choice. You're always right, but we want to hear why. And then you write the short summary on the card. Place it between the period you chose. And we do not specify exactly how long a period is, but the description may give some ideas. You can always add a new period between two existing periods, so long as you can explain how it makes sense. We may think that two periods are right next to each other and then have another period slipped in between. So I will create a period rather than an event, because you can do either one. But I would like to add a new period to our spot. And this period, well, there's only two things to go between, so that was easy. And I'm going to call this the age of the second age of sail. So I'm going to call this. And this era, what is this period like? This is the period when people first learned how to sail the skies rather than the seas in airships. And this is people have figured out how to do this, which is an important moment, because after the becalming, after the death of the tides, right, it was no good for a lot of that. And also it's really hard to actually do any kind of trading during the low tide season, the high tide season. So this is a moment where it has been basically, there's a discovery of how to create airships of some sort. maybe something kind of zeppelin-y or something that kind of looks like a sailing ship with a like like a kind of like a regular sailing ship kind of gondola, but like something kind of like blimpy zeppelin-y. And in this period, it is discovered how to do this, and there is a flourishing. It's like the initial flourishing of excitement when people start trying to like figure out how to sort of make these and do this and explore um, the skies. And the second age of sail is also when we get movement into sky islands. People doing things on sky islands, meeting people there. It's like there's like basically it's a kind of an age of exploration and travel through the age of sky sail, and that's all. So it's like this kind of exploration. And I'm going to say that this is a light period because it promises the ability to um, to have more than one way to travel and to connect with people and um, that there. So the let me put the notes in. The and by the way, after me is Billy. Let's see. The discovery of sky sailing and explore and uh, excitement around that and exploration of sky islands and trade and sharing of culture, right? It's a generally speaking it's a really it's a lovely period is what I'm going to say. uh that's that's the period that I have created. um we go in order. Billy, you're next. You can either make a period or an event that happens inside of a period.
Okay, so I'll do a period.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta change my.
Oh yeah, to the little pointer. And let me take us to our map. Boop.
Oh, I took the whole thing
Little.
away.
Yeah, just make sure you hold down the option, and then you'll. Um, can you like hold down option, drag, let go of the cursor, and then let go of the option?
Or if you have
Yeah.
a Windows computer,
Oh.
it's Alt.
And also,
Oh.
Billy, you got one. You got it. You pulled it out there. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Oh. Ooh. Okay. Tell us
So
about this new period.
this period, at the death of Sales, with
Mm-hmm.
the arrival of famine and a war of the gods, is in the flux and the adaptation to the way things are now, in this life of scarcity. One civilization has developed a great way to amass resources, and they have established an empire. And that
Oh. Okay.
empire is not good.
Mm.
So
Mm.
with
Mm.
the realization, the
Mm.
actualization of the power that they held over the other species, they began doing the things that people in power do. And the ratio of the value of a life to the value of resources is dramatically skewed. So there's war, there's conquest, there is a great imbalance, and the seeking of domain and power. And I like words, so let's go.
Ooh. The Rise of the Ghoulie Empire?
Yeah, that we can do that.
Yeah. And then type your notes. Oh, that's good. On it.
May I ask
PB.
a clarifying question?
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
How does it tie to our chair, to our seat? Just my clarifying.
By the way, for to answer that question for me, the second evidence sail, the horizon seat's actually really quite important for navigation, sky navigation. Just there you go.
But yeah, that was going to be the same question I asked. It's like,
What does it tie into the seat? So it becomes like a not focal point. So they perceive, because the seat has been cracked, that it has no inherent value any longer. And so they turn their attention to these horrible tactics to try to ascertain power and neglect the given ways of navigation for the hubris to develop in its stead their own tools that eventually let them down.
Well, I don't think I like these guys.
So,
Love it. That's a great clarification question, Prax, by the way. PB, you are up next for either a period or an event inside of a period.
I would like to make an event.
Then you must read out the instructions for event before you do, which is on page 20.
So
Also, we want to hear
make
your voice,
event.
your reading voice, because it's so nice.
So make event. An event is a specific thing that happens during a period. To make an event, say what period it is in and describe what happens. An event zooms in closer and shows us that what happens at a particular place and time. To make an event, 1, pick period. The event must be inside a period. If there are other events in the period, decide whether it is before or after them. 2, describe event. What happens during the event? If an anchor is involved or any other relevant characters, tell us what their life is like now and how old they are. 3, light or dark. Don't think about future consequences, just what happened in the event you made. Explain your choice. You're always right, but we want to hear why. Write a short summary on a card, oriented wide, and place it below the period. Events are in chronological order going down, with higher events earlier. An event must be inside a period. If you have an idea for an event but no period to put it in, you can't make that event yet. You can create events inside the start and end bookends, just like any other period. If something happens in your event and we would see the outcome, make sure to describe it. An event should be a complete description of what happens, without going into too much detail, not a cliffhanger, unless what happens does not have a resolution.
And they had some
do you want me-
examples like the journal is saved from a hitman by the Nighthawk, or monitoring station shut down, funding's cut. Events. Yeah. And so,
So this event
give it to us.
is going to have an anchor character. Do you want me to also make anchor?
No, not yet, because that's in the second round. So you just give us
Okay.
this, and then in the second round, you can make the anchor if you like.
Okay.
Because in round two, round one, we either make a period or event. In the second go round, this is all still part of our in the second pass as part of our setup, we either do an event or an anchor.
Okay. So this event is gonna take place near the end of the dawn of the Julian Empire. Julian.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Wait, Billy, is it Julian or Julian?
I was going for Julian, but I'm open.
Got you.
Hard G.
Mm-hmm.
Can I?
I'm good.
You said avian, right?
Oh, me?
Yeah, it's like an avian species.
Mm-mm.
Okay, sorry, I misheard then.
Just an empire, expansive empire.
Okay. So we don't know what species the Julian Empire is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then the event is I don't know what we would call the solstice. Did we decide if we were going to call it the solstice or was it the solstice? Equinox.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we
We
called
didn't. Yeah, equinoxes, but I don't think we've had we didn't determine a name for it.
Then I'm just going to go with celebration to leave it vague for now.
Or you could make, it's.
You can make it. Like, if it's open, take it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's scary. These. I'll workshop the name. We'll workshop the name in a second. What happens though in this event is near the end of the Julian Empire, or I guess the fall of the Julian Empire, as empires just do.
Well, we have no idea when they fall, right?
Yeah.
We only know when they started.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But empires rise, they fall. I'm assuming at some point.
Yeah, but do we have that period yet?
We don't know.
We don't know. Well, I guess near the end of this period of the dawn of the Julian Empire, there is during one of these equinoxes, during what I would say is normally a time of celebration, and it is for those in a certain empire, but not so much those being exploited. So what a catalyst happens on this night, a night of where everybody gets suddenly these very hard to manage abilities, and someone from the someone who is being exploited managed to hear what they believe to be a prophecy from the seat. And this prophecy is one of destruction. And they lead I guess maybe the celebration's rebellion or something like that is what the title would be. They with the empowerment of the night or the time, they lead a rebellion against the Julian Empire, and it is remembered as as one of the most destructive nights, and marks a point where the seat not only doesn't just give positive
Mm.
and what would be classified as good
Mm-hmm.
advancements to those who hear
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to be dark.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Mm.
I hit all
Mm-hmm.
the points I needed to hit
Bits.
for an event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does it? By the way, what? Well, you one thing. The question is that they have the celebrations rebellion. How does
Yeah.
that event end?
It ends in a great bloodshed
Mm.
that is not favorable towards those in the rebellion.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, a
Mm-hmm.
rebellion, not a revolution. An important distinction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Uh, and as you finish typing up that card, Prax, it's you.
I am going to add a event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to add an event to the death of tides.
Mm.
And it is a moment of I want to do this correctly. There will be a figure, we'll get to them later.
Mm.
At the height of like the death of tides has occurred, the seas have calmed, this period of devastation is upon us, and a figure, well, I'm going to describe it and then we can go from there, staggers from the
Mm.
from the inland in towards the sea, unsteady, unstable, and collapses into the seat, perhaps merely unintentionally.
Mm.
And is the first to hear the voice of the gods from the seat.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Is that light or dark?
I'm going to say, and
And then why?
here's prophecy, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
light event about
Mm-hmm.
the possibilities
Mm. Mm.
of the future, that there is an end
Mm-hmm.
to this period of
Mm-hmm.
devastation that will come.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Um,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
so I'm going to say it's the first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, no, it's not first. It's not going to be called the first. It's going to be called the heralding.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The heralding of there we go. I can spell. The
Mm-hmm.
heralding of enlightenment, and the first prophecy.
I love that.
Um,
Mm-hmm. Okay. That is our first pass. We get a second pass. And in this second pass, because what we're doing now, right, is basically setting up a foundation for us to then play with afterwards, which will involve, periods, scenes, anchors, crazy RP. So in the second pass, we're going to add more detail to the world that we have so far, and we can either make either an event or an anchor, one or the other. And the first person to make an anchor will have to read the description of the anchor. Let's see. Does somebody want to go first, and then we can follow the cycle if they have a thing they want to do? Any one of us can.
I would like to kind of go, if that's okay. Because I'm going to make the anchor that goes with the herald.
Mm-hmm. Well, first read the
Yeah.
instructions on making your anchor, which is page 18.
Make an anchor. An anchor is a character who is part of the chronicle's story. To make an anchor, describe them and their connection to the chronicle. We'll learn more about them as we play. Anchor characters are the lens through which we see the story of the chronicle. To make an anchor, pick a period. When does this person appear in the chronicle? A period can have more than one anchor. Describe the anchor. What is the basic idea of this character? What is their connection to the chronicle? Keep it short. Estranged daughter of one of Mars' mission astronauts, merchant who doesn't know the old blade hanging on his wall is the sword of legends. Name. Give them a name and title based on that description so we can see their concept at a glance. Names are hard, so you can ask for help if you want. Write a short summary on a card oriented wide and put it above the period you choose. If there is already another anchor on that period, put it above the card. The description you give it is just a snapshot in time, and the person will probably change throughout their life. A young warrior may grow old, and an idealist may grow jaded. Our example, do you want to read the examples?
Yeah. You can just put a little summary of it, right?
Yeah. Our chronicle is the starship Madamus, originally a stock Model M light freighter. In the last period, it had been sent to an orbital scrapyard, so a player makes an anchor who works there cutting up old ships. The player describes someone who has led a hard life, even in his youth. An isolated man with few prospects. One arm is a bionic replacement that is little more than scrap itself. His name is Tariq Masi.
Okay.
So, but the anchor I'm going to create oh, that's because I was hitting the wrong button. There we go.
Okay.
Is the second prophet.
Oh, okay.
And because we're playing with this idea of multiple species, and I like that, they are an amphibian-based species. A student of the first prophet who questions until they bring their own voice and they bring forth their own prophecy in their first young young adult period or new adult period, I guess we're going to call it, like the 18 to 24, whatever that accounts for an amphibian based species.
Right.
And their name.
What sort of amphibian?
Yeah,
Clarification.
something amphibian. And they are like a true amphibian. What's the term for it? It's the reason that Jurassic Park is such a problem, because they can change their biological sex at will.
Like
Is that
seahorses?
It's I can't remember what it's called, but it's the temperature based or a certain condition that triggers the
it triggers
shift.
the shift, and it's the reason why Jurassic Park isn't what people think. That the creators of Jurassic Park have such a problem because they use this, and they create therefore. But yeah, so this amphibian-based species can change their sex at. I'm gonna say it used to be in the Dark Ages before the Cataclysm. Used to be at will, and now is tied to the shift in seasons.
Sequential hermaphrodites.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And their name. Oh, anybody got any ideas?
Oh,
Are you trying to name the species or the prophet?
Let's go with the prophet, because I figure we'll name the species as we go.
What type of vibe are you trying to invoke?
I'm gonna show my age. Okay. Mouse at the end of Lady Hawk. Right, like Matthew Broderick's character by the end of Lady Hawk, who starts this very cynical, this never happened, magic isn't real, this isn't a thing, and is like, nope, seen and I believe, and therefore God must also exist, and the magic exists, and everything. I'm gonna fix myself, mostly, maybe. I believe, but I'm not necessarily holy. That kind of.
I feel like
character.
An amphibian character should have S's in their name. Those are. I'm gonna contribute those consonants. S's. Yes. Because you're underwater. Maybe some T's. Tarsal. Stla. I'm feeling like Stuz. So Savat, says Rissa. Savat. Savas.
What about something like I typed it in our little group chat, but Sodalane or Silrician?
Ooh. Oh, those are nice too.
I like Sodalane, right?
Yeah.
I like Solodalane. That seems.
Solodalane. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Second prophet, an amphibian-based species, student of the first herald.
And what do they look like?
Mm, 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 mm. Bipedal, an amphibian. So, do you remember? Like, Trooper's gonna remember, and Billy might. PB, you might not, but that's because it's a special kind of thing. Do you remember Shelley Duvall's fairy tale theater?
Absolutely.
Do you remember the very interesting prosthetic for the Princess and the Frog, for the Frog Prince?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's all I can see right now.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, that is an interesting aesthetic. I'm
I will
looking
look
at the
for it.
images right now on the.
Yeah,
I'll put it.
it is not good. Like, the CG, the practical effects were not good. All of it was a very unique like the Shelley Duvall's fairy tale theater was.
Mhm. They didn't have a big budget.
No, they didn't, and you forget that the Frog Prince is Robin Williams, and he's what
Mhm.
makes. And
Mhm.
I just need a better image of that frog. Like, that's who I'm thinking of.
I feel like no budget and Robin Williams is still fantastic.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, it's Shelley Duvall and almost like um like Jim Henson
Mm-hmm. Let me put this
animatronics,
here.
but not quite, and it was a special time.
Here we go. Putting this up in the on our little map for the moment.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you for finding a picture.
You're welcome. I will edit it later. There you go. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
the hands, like, so that you had like articulated hands and
Mm-hmm.
not quite opposable thumbs.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But like that. But maybe
Yeah.
not green. Like, maybe more interesting, like Amazonian tree frog kind of colors.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
embrace that, right?
Yeah.
But innate.
Oh. Oof. Okay. Okay. Who else has one? Either an event or an anchor. I would like to do an event. I've got a quick one, I think. Um, the event that I'm going to go with is going to be inside the period of sail, and it's going to be the seat goes missing. So people regularly go to the seat, and oops, that's not what I wanted. People regularly go to the seat. It's a thing, right? But in this age of sail, what ends up happening is that there's a moment where the seat disappears. It's not there anymore. Like basically, it's no longer present. But what we understand is that the seat has begun to wander. We'll call it the seat begins to wander. And um, the seat begins to wander, which is a real problem, right? Because like, oh no, it's no longer in a fixed place. Which, by the way, part of this is in my mind is about the fact that we have to like seek this enlightenment. Now we actually also have to seek the seat because now we never know exactly where it is. It could be it could be anywhere. Um, so and the seat begins. Or this event is like when some sailors are going to go to make their stopover at the sea, because I think a lot of people that travel through. There's a ship, and this is when the ship, and this is a sea ship, not a sky ship. This one, it is the sea ship Virago. Um, the sea ship Virago discovers Horizon Seat. Uh, has gone has you know, it's gone wandering, uh, which causes disruption in navigation, because in this world, Horizon Seat is the lodestar. It's where all navigation, like it was the one, stable thing, right? So everybody navigated from the Horizon Seat, because that was the what everything else moves, that was stable. But now it has begun wandering itself, right? So that is the big event, and I think that this is a negative event, because you know, uh, that was how we oriented ourselves, to that was how we navigated things, was via the stability of the Horizon Seat. But now it has gone wandering. So that is and it's like the ending is that, like, there's no, like, basically the event is when this is discovered, that it is no longer where it was before, right? That's the and that navigation is all messed up, and that is the event itself. Like, we realize now that the seat has gone wandering, and that is my event. Any of the rest of you can go.
What you feeling, PB?
I'm trying to decide if this is an event or an anchor.
Mm.
So I'll just start talking and we'll decide which is more appropriate. Despite anchor is supposed to be a short description.
It's a person, right? Yeah.
It is a newly a new species has come to be, and they it's an avian species, and they are they will be seeing the seat for the first time, and it would occur during the sea dissolves the seat, during that period.
Oh, okay. Um, well, if you have a
And I'm trying to
specific person, that would be an anchor. But if you want the event of, like, the emergence of this new species, that would feel like that's an event, right?
yeah, it's like I'm thinking about it from. I think it would be more interesting to see it from there, like one
Mm-hmm.
of that
Persons.
species,
Mm-hmm.
that person's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
perspective,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is why I think anchor might be
Mm-hmm.
more interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we'll do anchor. We'll do anchor
Mm-hmm.
in the end period.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Oh my god, I keep holding Alt.
You're like, I just want more of them.
I just want more. I'm trying to do something else. So, their name. We'll cook on that.
Mm-hmm.
They are. I mean, the description: a newly born a new person to this world sees the seat for the first time, the crumbling seat for the first time. I think something like that. And they are why are they they're new. How that
Mm-hmm.
happens, that's up.
I
That's between you
have
and the gods.
questions. Oh, all right then.
I am
Mm-hmm.
imagining they're from one of the Sky Islands.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
they just one day came down from a newly formed Sky Island and are experiencing the world, this world, for the first time. So for them, everything is new, including the seat.
Oh, that's interesting.
And what they look like is I'm almost thinking I'm thinking a little bit Icarus-y.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
In large, maybe like golden
Mm,
feathering with blue tinges that gets lost in the sky.
mm,
They are they are long. They're long and a large or not a predatory species, so they don't look like a
mm,
hawk.
mm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And rather have a more not such a sharp beak, but something
Mm-hmm.
a little bit friendlier looking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not long like a toucan,
Like a duck
but
bill or something.
yeah, more bill like.
Mm,
Um,
sorry.
maybe they have like a little hodgepodge thing going on that would justify them being new,
Mm-hmm.
but yet still avian in some way.
Mm,
But they are just this oh, I made them an anchor, right? So it's this a person with a name.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe since they're new, making new sounds, you see them, you can't really communicate with them. Their name, bird-like names.
K sounds? Like hard,
Hey,
like birds? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like
The only thing you can give suggestions on are names. That's it. That's my. I'm giving you consonants. That's what I got.
yeah. Thank you so much.
Kakarot.
Mm.
Look,
Kakarot.
I know, and if you know, you know, but it's okay. I'm going to use that reference because it makes sense. Tell me I'm wrong.
There's a type of bird called a kestrel.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Akarat. That word is so sweet, though.
It is.
Yeah. Like, oh, what an oddly specific emote roller.
But also awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. And yeah, they just they just see the thing. That's it, right? That's all I need. They saw the thing for the first time. Newly see the crumbling seat. And yeah, that is done.
Billy, you take the last turn in our setup. In our second pass, you can make an event or an anchor.
I've been sitting on this one for like 25 minutes.
Uh-oh.
It came to me as soon as I had input the Dawn of the Ghoulian Empire. But So we have the death of the tide god, ocean bringer, what have you. Right. And if we have established this world as gods don't care, but they have their own like proclivities and agendas, then they most certainly have children.
Absolutely.
So I want to make an anchor. Okay, an anchor that is. No, it's not it. It's not. Okay.
You need the you need to press Alt when you click down.
Yeah. Like I do Alt first, and then I click, and then I drag, and then I
Yeah, not because right now you're just selecting everything around you.
Yeah, that's not what I want.
So press Alt, then press the click, and it'll copy.
and hold down. Yeah.
Oh, because I'm pressing Control, guys. That's what the problem was.
It does happen. It does happen. Yeah.
I had the same problem for a brief period.
So, as an ode to mystery, we do not know some things, but this is a child of this god. We also have established that all we have varying sentient species, and we have sea monsters that are all not created equal. So this is the child of the god of the tides that is also a sea monster.
Oh.
So through this sea monster, you're viewing the civilizations as they rise and fall, and the things that these civilizations will do for the thought of power. So it is more of a lens on the futility of the dreams of mortals, without an immense ability to act upon those or grant wishes to them. Just a maw, just a visceral, sentient hunger that exists in the depths.
Demigods,
Obviously
folks,
dark.
on the table. Well, you don't have to give a light or dark for anchors.
For an anchor. Okay.
Are they, because they're sea monsters, Leviathan or Kraken? Or something else?
I was thinking more along the lines of a Charybdis.
Ooh, Charybdis?
Oh.
Yeah, from the Odyssey.
I'm gonna find an image for you all.
Charybdis is a maelstrom. Well,
would you describe what they look like?
Yeah.
By the way, I'm getting an image.
Nothing short of a Lovecraftian horror.
Nice.
Horror, you weirdos.
Billy.
Oh, you're judging me now, the one who brought up monster fucking.
I asked you first because I needed clarification.
I didn't do it.
I would also like to point out, Billy, that you, in every game I've played with you, you are the only character who has had romantic relationships with someone in every game I've ever played.
And they might have been monsters. That's fair.
Monster's a loose term. Monster's a pretty loose term.
To be fair, in Witcher Road's Home, you were the only one that didn't technically get emotionally involved with a monstrous species.
And what is do you have a name?
Let me rattle one off the old noggin.
Let's see if this will go. Woo.
But do they really need a name for their species if they're a child? Are they a child of the god?
It's a one-off.
It's a one.
Yeah, it's a one-off,
So
right?
it's like,
so are
it's
they
like
are they
demigod.
themselves Are they like? Is it a
Yeah.
demigod, or are they like a god themselves?
I guess that's how we want to make the lineage of gods work. So I think gods are what makes that cool is the finality of it. So that when a god dies, that's it.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
Now, like the domain can't be ascertained really. It's just like or perhaps it's divided amongst its demigod children. But like if a god falls, that's it.
So in that case, I think it's I guess
Demigod.
Pope.
Sorry, what's the question?
We were just getting your clarification on their status as
are
either
they
demigod
semi-divine or wholly divine? I guess is the clarification.
I guess
Or
semi.
are we going? So to continue for my clarification, not to give any further, but because this is the way my brain works, and I live in the world of Greek mythology, like the monsters, the monstrous children of Gaia, right? Like the Hydra, the thousand-handed being, like truly monstrous, but also some semi-divine at the same time.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
Okay. Okay. I believe if we might, that right there, although Billy's gonna give us what's your name? Ablenshi. Ablentia. We have now, let me by the way, what you're seeing, that huge storm thing, that is our being, our Charybdis. So we now are at that moment where we have done all of this setup for our game. We've created our world. We've done our first and second pass just to give us a something to start with when we begin next week. Next week, and I'm going to say it now so you can know what to look forward to. Next week, we're going to be going in rounds. We're going to go in an order. We'll pick our first player, then we will go in order. And each round will have a specific procedure. And that will be, I'm going to say it now so you can look forward to it. The first thing we happen is we're going to pick our first player for that round. And that first player will pick an anchor. Either they will pick an existing anchor or they will make their own anchor, a new one. And then all of us must make, all the things we make, all of us in that round have to be in some way related to that anchor. And then once we pick the anchor is basically the focus for that round. And it might be one of the existing ones or it might be a brand new one. And then each person we will take turn making either a period, an event, or a scene where we RP ourselves out about the anchor. And then we go clockwise. We go in our order. Now, I will note that this is an important note. It was a clarification in the FAQ. The period, scene, or event does not have to include that anchor, but it must be about the anchor. So, for example, it could be about the aftermath of that anchor generations later. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be specific. The anchor doesn't have to be in the scene or the event, but it could be, but it has to be in some ways connected to that anchor. And then we'll each take a turn doing either making a period, an event, or a scene about the anchor. And then the first player who pinged that anchor as our focus will wrap up their story for now within that space. And then we have the free roam where the person to the right of the first player, so the reverse direction of the other steps, makes a period, event, dictated scene, or anchor anywhere in the history, and it doesn't have to relate to anything else, just like they get to add a new thing to the plate. And then we rotate our anchor player. And then that's what we'll be doing next week. So next week, when we get in here, we're going to have more periods. We're going to have more events, and then we're going to have scenes as well, and more anchors. And we're going to find out how we get from the cracking of the horizon seat to the dissolving of the seat into the seas, and what we're going to find out about Sodalane and Cockhart and Ablentia and the other ones that we have in our minds. That's what we've got going on right now. So I'm excited to find out. I'm excited to play now that we've built this really interesting world. Oh my goodness. So I would like to say thank you, each and every one of you, for being here who are watching us tonight, getting our sea set up. Critwitch says, "From the sea we came, and to the sea we go." Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm so excited. If you could, I would really appreciate if each one of you could say who you are, where we can find you next, give some love, and say what you're excited about finding out about. Like, what are you excited to find out about? We will start backwards this time. We're going to start with Prax. Prax, who are you? Where can we find you? Give some love and tell us what you're excited about finding out about next week.
Okay. So, hey everybody. You know me. I'm Praxworth as Mayphorias. See me around here on Twitch, and Prax the Bard over on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Hive. First, thank you, Trooper, for having me come play with you. I appreciate it. I always love to get to play with you and Billy and PB because it's some of my favorite people to play with because just all the fun times. And I'm going to say the excitement first and then do where the rest of the shill bit. I am excited to see how the divine or the divine / semi-divine interact with the mortal, right? And how that's going to interact and be things, because it's going to be very interesting, I think. There's a lot of things that are happening. If you know me, you also know that I create a playlist for every game I play in.
How many sea
there are already
shanties
like
will
6
be
songs on the playlist at the moment.
How many sea shanties are going to be in your playlist? I need to know.
Not as many as you think, actually.
Okay.
I'm not going to deny that they will be there. I'm just saying it's not as many as you think. So yeah, I can't wait to see how that, interaction and where we go from here. But as for me, you can find me on my channel, Praxagoth Esmiophoria, probably tomorrow night, doing some more Dragon Age Inquisition. We might actually have to engage with the plot soon. Maybe it might have to be done just to kind of advance other stuff. We'll find out. There's another dragon we can fight instead. It's fine. We're into plot avoidance. But then next week we'll be doing some more Inquisition. I'm not sure exactly how much because there's going to be there's some outside factors that'll limit how much I can play. But there will also be a couple announcements next week, so pay attention about new things that will be coming to the channel. So pay attention to Blue Sky and hang out with me as we talk. And I look forward to all of that. Also look forward to playing with all of you guys again next week because it's just fun times.
Okay, let's continue around PB. PB, who are you? Where can we find you next? Give some love and then say what you're excited about learning. Also, I'm going to just do a quick thing. I'm going to put a link in our chat. And if you in the audience, if you could check it out, we're doing a tech test right now. This may be a bad idea, but what I'm looking for is to see. I'm trying to create a viewing link so that you can go and actually look at the board itself, dear audience. So here is a link to our board, and somebody tell me if you can see it. PB, I toss it to you.
Hi. I am PB from PB Plays Inside, where you can find me over on Twitch and Blue Sky. I am at the moment gearing up to go full throttle on prep for a game that I'm going to be playing at the end of October with
Weird.
a couple of awesome individuals who I look forward to telling you about soon. It is a game called Asher's Ridge, which is right now on Kickstarter for another 3 days. It is by Rory Montford,
Hmm.
and it is a very interesting narrative game. I really like the mechanics of it. It has really good bones, and I'm really looking forward to telling a story inside of it and doing a bunch of prep, which involves making some cards. I think I'm going to remake the map, and also some other cards that are going to be necessary for the game, including maybe some letter tiles if I can't find any in any of the VTTs that I'm looking at the moment. And as for this game, where you can also find me here on Fridays, that I'm very, very excited to be a part of. I am excited to just kind of just interact with this world, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
It's such a intriguing world with such
Mhm.
intriguing rules that I look forward to seeing how that all intertwines and then comes back to the seat. So it's
Mhm.
just in general, I think it's all can be very fun, and I look forward to doing it with all of you. And all of the just like all of our entire palette is so very intriguing and awesome, and um I think everyone made such cool choices for the both the yeses and the nos. And I think that really just adds on to my own excitement of what's coming. So I just that's a kudos to just everyone. I think everyone did such a phenomenal job uh with the palette.
Oh, so exciting. That leaves us next to Billy. By the way, audience, thank you for checking that you could actually look at that link and you can use the link to look at our board. Thank you so much. I will add it to our commands. Billy, who are you? Where can we find you next? Give some love, and then what are you excited by?
I'm Billy. You can find me at Bill of the Forest on all the things, although I'm finding the internet quite abhorrent at the moment. And you know what? I'm over it. So I'm not there very often. But I am here on the internet right now because I love these people. I'm excited. I think the four brains you see here of varying function have managed to put together a really interesting and unique world to live in. Unfortunately, for only two more Fridays, but what makes things special is that they end. So this is super cool, and I think it gets a lot of juices flowing for other stuff. And what I'm also very, very excited for, in addition to playing with these fine folks, is watching other people go into detail on what happens during the arcane purge.
Yeah.
The celebrations. That's very, very cool, because I think there's so much of all of us in this whole thing. Getting to watch everyone else react to situations that you had a part in creating is going to be like super fulfilling.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really stoked to be able to do that for two more Fridays. I think that's it. Now, should I read out loud the thing I wrote in addition to?
Yes, please.
Because it didn't come to me until later. But
I'm ready.
A child of the Lord of the Tides, a hungering maw capable of observing the follies of mortal empires, obviously lures sailors to their doom unless a deal is struck.
Obviously. Mhm.
Obviously.
Obviously. Okay. This leads to me, but I never get to go until I read out the messages we got first. So I would like to say, first off, thank you everybody for being here. And we got a $20 tip from Rissa, who is our one of our mods, but did not leave a message. I'm going to assume the message is a $20 tip to appease Ablentia, so that Ablentia does not destroy our sailors of the you know how it is. That would be terrible. And then we got a wonderful 500-bit tip from Hawkeye, who says, "Under the microscope, what wild worlds have been created? What's under the lens next week?" Indeed, thank you so much. So, I'm troopersjp, and you can find me tomorrow at noon Eastern for the finale of Seasons of Death Winter, our Night's Black Agent solo campaign with Werewolf Fields. So if you want to see how that ends, he's got the information. He just has to pick it up and maybe save a granddaughter, and everything will be fine. And I'm sure there'll be no badnesses whatsoever at all. Yep, that'll be cool. And then you can find me next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern for the finale of the three-parter of a Draconim, Scale and Souls and Scales. That is over at Table Story. That's happening there on Wednesday. And then in terms of RPGs, you can then find me back here again next Friday with this amazing crew of people for for more of this. So I want to give my love to I love the ways in which I could, because I'm seeing you all in the Video Ninja sort of thing, watching everybody's faces. There's something really lovely about watching everybody's face playing this game, because everybody's sitting there being very thoughtful, and it's just to see people start talking and somebody just goes and I can see everybody thinking and percolating on what's happening and where they want to go, and I love that because I know something really amazing is going to happen, and I loved what everybody brought. It's been really lovely. I mean, yes, everything that people like. Oh, so exciting. What am I excited about for next week? So I think generally speaking, I'm excited for our first scenes. That I'm really excited about. The time tomorrow, Rissa, is noon Eastern tomorrow for Seasons of Death, the finale of Seasons of Death Winter. Noon Eastern, and 9 o'clock in the morning for me, Pacific. But I'm excited for our first scenes next week because we get to have them now. So now we've laid our basis. We get to have our scenes and more periods. So I'm excited about that. And I'm really excited to see who's going to play what's going to happen. What scenes we're going to come with, because everyone's come up with such cool things already. So I'm excited about that. I'm also excited to find out more about what happens in between the second age of sail and the sea that dissolves the seat, because there are clearly more things that happen in between that period and those two periods, and I have no idea what they are. I'm excited to find out what more anchors we're going to have, which new characters are going to come in, and how they're going to interact with the Horizon Seat itself. Like, how are we going to see the Horizon, this quest for enlightenment and the Horizon Seat through their eyes? I don't know. I'm just so excited about what we built already that I'm really excited to find out what's going to come next, because each person at this table is going to come up with the new things, and I'm so excited. I just to sit here and be like, what are you going to do? And I'm really excited about the undiscovered parts and the scenes and playing with her. I'm too excited. I am. I'm too excited, but I am very, very excited to find out more. So I want to thank all of y'all here for agreeing to microscope with me. And when we're done, hey, we can write after action reports for the playtest, because this is, after all, a playtest. And I am really excited. I'm really, really excited. Thank you for saying yes, and thank each and every one of you who was watching with us today. I also want to thank Ben Robbins, the creator of this game, who gave us a shout out on Blue Sky. Thank you. And let's come back to this world. We don't have a name for it yet. I'm excited to come back next week, and I will just say there is a thing that everybody always says, and that is, the dream, right, is always that you play a game of Microscope, you let it go for a while, and after you really fill it out and you're feeling really good, then you use that as the world to play in an RPG using a different system. That's always the dream. And I was thinking well, what system would you use for this? And I was wondering if the age system would be good for this. Because you kind of want something a little bit
Ooh,
mythic. You know what I mean? Something
yes.
that's got like a that kind of a vibe. Like there's just so many different systems, right? But I was like, oh, maybe the age system would be
Age
really
system would be
good for
fun with
this.
this.
Mm-hmm. Right? Like I could see it. Like I could see the age system being a good one for this. Well, my friends, I will not keep us any longer, but we will do a raid because it's good to raid in and support the community. Other Doc says some friends of mine and I use Microscope to set up a sci-fi campaign in Rosette Diceless. Ooh, very nice, very nice. Um, I enjoyed Rosette Diceless, Other Doc. So let us, if we can, uh, oh, that's in Portuguese. Oh, we've got people in other languages happening right now. If I spoke Portuguese, I would absolutely 100% raid into a Portuguese channel, but I do not. But which makes me
I
sad. Mm?
I'm just agreeing with Pope. Age or the Sword Chronicle system, either one would be good.
Yeah, I think they both would be actually really quite good. So let's well, you know what? There's a place that I do not know them, but they are doing the Kids on Bikes, and they've got about 9 viewers. So I thought they would be a really good group for us to raid into. Dylan the Cripple, and let's go and raid into them with their Kids on Bikes. They look like they're doing B2B kind of stuff. So let's do that, everybody. We're going to raid into them as soon as our credits are done. Thank you to especially Will and TW, who's our sponsor. One of our 4 sponsors, 4 sponsor slots he's open. Thank you for supporting us. And thank you everybody who's watched. Thank you to all our patrons, all the tips and bits, to all of you, and thank you to my lovely players. We will catch you on the flip side. Bye, everybody.